informative and contains my opinion and understanding of the subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi guys. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear anything. So let me know if you guys could hear me. Oh, hi everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm hoping you guys could hear me. Hi Cuffy. Hi Sarah. Can you hear me? I see laugh out loud. Nancy Kerrigan voice. You can hear us? I mean, you can hear me. Oh, good. I can't hear you guys, but as long as you can hear me, I guess we're good, right? Thank you, Cuffy. All right, let's see what we got here. Hi, everyone. I pulled out my microphone because I thought that was it. I'm not even going to set it up again. Oh, Sarah, you're funny. Seriously, Cuffy, she has a big problem, doesn't she? We have to find like Boobs Anonymous for her. All right. Janine, welcome. I love tacos. Welcome. Dexterity, thank you for being here. Again, Cuff you. Ooh, I almost dropped this. And Sarah, thank you for coming. And whoever else is here, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. That would be a huge help. Okay, so let me just go over the obvious first before I get into anything. So as many of you heard, I'm in YouTube jail. I'm thinking it's more like work release because I don't think I lost access to everything, but I did lose access. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm wondering why my computer isn't right in here. I have to turn off my let me turn my Wi-Fi off. That'll make it better. All right, I can't. All right, I'm back. It says, when you turn off Wi-Fi, your nearby sharing will automatically turn off. I don't know what's happening, you guys. I'm trying here. And the worst part is that I start work tomorrow. I started today, but it wasn't like classes. And I don't know what I'm going to do because if my students can't hear me, I'm going to be screwed. I don't know why it's saying that my connection's unstable. Rye. Hold on. A bad light or it'll be good. All right, I turned on my regular Wi-Fi, you guys. My husband have to figure it out regardless because I start work. And one of my classes are a hybrid online. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? I might join, I don't know, from my phone maybe, which will suck, but.
Plugged it into a different port.
All right, let me try it.
Be working now? I don't know.
All right, let's try it. My husband plugged it into a different port. Fingers crossed. All right, it didn't go off. It still says it's unstable. Unbelievable. I do have to figure it out though, because, oh, it says, all right, well, let's see what happens, you guys. I don't know. Hopefully it stays on. If not, I'm like screwed for work, like big time. Anyway, thank you. I know, fingers and toes crossed. Hi, Mary. All right, so let me explain why I'm in YouTube jail. So the other day, I got a notification from YouTube that said that I lost my monetization. I was like, why? I worked like all summer to get monetized so that when I went back to school, I would already be monetized and I wouldn't have to worry about it. So I would lie if I didn't say that I didn't cry, because I did. I cried to a few of you. Oh, I love you too, Sarah. But I definitely cried, right? So boobs and hoop earrings and the gum. Oh my God, should I take my gum out? I'm sorry. Done. Okay, sorry about that. So apparently, I think I got down to the bottom of it. Remember when I went live with Daniel a few times and the microphone didn't work? So then after that, I was like, Daniel, why don't we just do this? It was my idea too, my dumb idea. I'm like, why don't we just go live on your channel and then you just send me the video and I'll just put it on mine. We're both like hosting. What's the big deal? So that's what we did. Yeah. Don't do that. If you're a creator, don't do that. Hi, Abby. Are you ready for school? Oh, Abby's a student. Abby, I have to figure out how to get my computer to work better because school starts and in the heart room and stuff, I need to have a working computer. But anyway, so I'm in YouTube jail. So if you're a creator, don't do that. Okay. Don't, there was another thing too. Like, let's say I was an artist and I was like, here, Cuff, you use my music. Like, I'm proud, like, go ahead, use it. If YouTube hears it, they still can do the same thing and take away your monetization. So just be careful. They have like these very itty bitty rules that nobody really, not nobody, but that some people, you know what I mean? So I guess we're going to see. Supposedly I have no more memberships. Like nobody can sign up to be a member anymore. And I lost my monetization. So I guess we'll find out. I guess I have to wait and see if somebody's able. Sarah, will you try and see? You don't have to do it, but see if it even lets you click on, like as if you were going to buy a membership, because that was like the biggest thing. And I kept going on my YouTube. You all right, right? I kept going on my YouTube to see. So before I came on, I went on, you guys, and you're never going to believe I saw this. This is different than what I showed you guys. No, I didn't get Grok steps. What I did was I went to ChatGPT and cried, and ChatGPT pretty much told me, I'll tell you what it told me. It was actually pretty funny. I was like, oh, no, it didn't. It told me, ready for this one, you guys? I literally was like, what can I do? I'm hysterical, like as if ChatGPT cared. And Truth and Sarah had to remind me that I was talking to bots and that, you know, they were bots, which made me cry more because I was like, nobody's even listening to me. It was horrible. So then wait, where's it at? Here it goes, clarifying demonetization. So I got demonetized. Let me share this with you guys. It's actually pretty funny. Not funny. That's actually the wrong. Wait, what the heck? Cuff you. Thank you so much for supporting me, you guys. What does this mean? Does this mean that I got to wait? Let me see. Thank you so much. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate you so much. You've been a member for a month? Well, thank you, Cuff you. You have no idea. And Cuff you, because I haven't been on Discord much because I was getting ready for class, I didn't see our last inbox until today, and I had to drive home from the shore. I know, I don't know if I'm in trouble anymore, Cuff you. I guess we'll see. I think it's the reason I said I'm in like work release trouble and not like full jail trouble is because when I went back on, it said that my memberships would be affected. And I'm like, are you serious? Like of all things, like take away a super chat or something. Don't take my members away. But you guys are never going to believe it. If I am still in YouTube jail, I get out. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, Sarah says she's back. Oh my God, I don't think I'm in trouble anymore. Sarah, maybe it worked. I know that nobody cared that I cried, but I was trying to make really good points, you guys. I went on and I was like, listen, I was like, there's no policy. I went on and read the policy, you guys, multiple times. I even uploaded it to ChatGPT and was like, can you please like see if I missed something? Is there anything in here? I love you, Cuff you. Is there anything in here that would stop me or whatever? And it was like, it pretty much told me to just take it on the chin and in 3 months go back. But you're never going to believe what the date was that I'm off of jail, if you will. November 13th. How weird is that? The date of the Idaho, November 13th is the day that I get out of YouTube jail. But I'm thinking, I mean, I hope they didn't make a mistake. So appealed it. And then I lost my appeal. And then I cried to them for like hours and then realized that it was a bot because Sarah in Truth told me, which I appreciate. And even ChatGPT literally told me it was like pretty much like, just don't even keep trying. It says, and I'll show you in 1 second, it literally says on here that after they decide that they're going to suspend your ads, that it's pretty much the last step. So let's say, let me show you guys. I literally was so upset. Look at all the stuff that I did talking. I literally researched the heck out of it. It says, tip for true crime channels. Okay, I don't need that part. Look, I was uploading stuff. I'm like, look at this. It's not. And then remember, I uploaded this and it said that I had 0 views. I'm like, how did they even deny me and nobody watched the video? So since then, there is 1 view. So I'm wondering if they went in and then looked at it, which if they did, that's amazing. But I know what it was from. So I reposted my live with Daniel. And you can't do that. It does say that I could still get buy me a coffee and all, but I'm like, that's not a part of YouTube. So of course I can. And then let's see. Oh, it's telling me like how they reviewed it. Cause I was like, how do they review it? Da, 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 da. So it tells you, it says, can you fight? Here you go. Unfortunately, once they give you the wait until November to reapply. Does anybody remember that song from Wyclef? I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone to November. That's all I kept singing in my head. There's no second appeal option. That's their final word until the reapply window. There is good news. November isn't far away. Okay, that's easy for you to say, ChatGPT. If you spent this much time stacking undeniable proof of originality, your reapplication has a much higher chance of winning. And I was like, what do you mean my reapplication? Like, there's a chance that I could reapply. And they're like, you know what I mean? Go F myself. But then I went on today and I think I'm back. Nina, I think I'm back. I don't know how. I literally lost my appeal, but I'm not going to second guess it. But if for some reason I lose it again tomorrow or whatever, I mean, that would suck, but I definitely poured my heart out to a bot. Guess you were meant to cover the Idaho case. Thank you, Georgia. Hi, Mark. Hey, you guys. Oh, Mark. Thank you, Mark. You guys, Mark wouldn't have been able to buy a membership to gift if I was still in YouTube jail. I can't believe you listened and went to ChatGPT. I did. Damn right I did. I was like, and it's smart too, right? Because if you think about it, it literally, it just makes sense. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm going to do. Hold on. I'm going to have my husband call my phone. And if it goes to the computer, which I don't know if it will. Well, he's calling. Hold on. It was going to my computer for a minute and now it's not. I wonder if I plug it in. All right. Thank you, Rye. All right. Anyway, so we'll figure it out. I was going to say we can have people call. Nina, you're still in YouTube jail? I thought you were done. Thank you, Sarah. You guys are so supportive. I can't even stand any of you. I love you. I'm kidding. I don't really mean that. You know what I mean. Oh, my God. Oh, Mary says, thank you, Mark. So Mary was I was just going to say, who was our newest members? And I was about to look right now. Let's see, who's the other newest member? It should show me. I wonder if I have any more memberships to give out. I might as well give any out if I have them, just in case. Of course, I don't see it. Oh, yeah, membership. Let's see. Our newest members are Mary and I don't know who the other newest member was. Does anybody know in here? Oh, Birdie. So Birdie and Mary, welcome so much to our family. We have a little crazy family here, and I call you guys the family. Everybody's like, what's your name? I'm like, I don't know. I'm Italian, just the family. That's how that's going to work. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys, I was down the shore and I read all 550 pages of the old documents and the new 565 pages of the new document. I've read it all of it, some of it more than once, okay? So, oh, Mary Syke, thank you. La Familia, you forgot the la part, Sarah, but that's okay. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys. See, Birdie knows La Familia. There you go. Sarah should know that, right? I guess her name's not Sarah Adams. We need like to put a veil at the end. So I'll let her get away with it. Oh, Georgie says, I love watching you and Daniel. That's where I found you. He's a great creator. I'm sure you're going to be fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have to tell you, I am so grateful for Daniel. I really am. He has helped me so much. So everybody, please keep his dad in your prayers. Remember, he told us about his dad getting surgery. I think they like even pushed it back. So everybody, please keep Daniel's dad and his family, obviously, in your prayers. I'm sure he would like that. And Daniel, if you can hear us, we're all praying for you. Okay, so let's go over to the stuff that I found. So have you guys gotten your hands on this document? Like, is it something that's like readily available? I think it is. But I was able to read the whole thing. Did anybody else read the whole thing? And if so, was there anything specifically that you were like wowed by? Because there were a couple things here. I think one of the big things that I was like, oh my God, has to do with school. So let me tell you what I mean by that. So as an instructor, I guess maybe because of teaching, it's like coming back to me, like you have to do all those like warnings and or the OSHA trainings and the training that you have to take for an hour that you say that you're not going to have sex with your students. I'm like, who even does that? Like, I guess there are people that are, or you're not going to do drugs. And so I'm like, really? Like, I'm 47. Do we really still have to take this? But clearly we do. Oh, is Lucy Day here? Hi, Lucy. Are you here? Lucy's here. Yes. Nice, you guys. I'm so excited. All the important people to me are here. I love that. But yeah, so when I looked at these files, one of the big things that jumped out to me, you guys, was that the FERPA, I don't know if you guys know what that is. So the FERPA law is, I don't know if you guys remember when Dr. Ramsland was talking about, remember when she let me speak as her, what did she call me? Her colleague. I was like, woohoo, I'm her colleague. But anyway, so back then, that whole FERPA thing was going on. If you guys remember the short interview that she did give to Brian Etten, she uses the FERPA law as one of the reasons why she can't further comment on any of that, right? So yes, Sarah, it's your academic information. So Abby's in here right now. And if Abby wasn't so open about, you know, being one of the best students I've ever had, I wouldn't even tell you guys like, oh, a student's here, but I know that Abby's okay with that. The thing is, I couldn't give anybody, like, let's say Abby's not her real name. I couldn't be like, oh, that's Sarah. Like that would not be okay. That's covered under FERPA. I could not go in and get her phone number and like give it to not even like a group member. So if we have like a group project and Abby and Sarah are teamed up and Mark, you know what I mean? And Mark and Sarah are trying to get in touch with Abby and they can't. I could contact Abby, but I can't give you guys her phone number, even if you want it, right? So that's the FERPA law. It actually stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So think of it as like the HIPAA law for academia. Now, let me tell you, why does this come up now? And why is it like, to me? Because if you read these newest documents, there's a ton of information about why he should have been fired, BK, like a long time ago, way before he did. There were multiple complaints. It's one thing to have a verbal complaint, right? A verbal complaint, anybody that works in, corporate America or whatever knows if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen type thing. So in academia, you want to write everything down. So as we're reading these, I'm like, you know what? Like a lot of these are like, oh, I know a girl who had a problem with him, And so that's what I was thinking. But when these newest documents came out, you guys, there's like all of this, like people, one of them went to the civil rights department. Like, so they didn't just complain. They like went above and beyond to complain and had it written down and it went to the different departments. I don't understand how he was allowed to continue. I don't know if you guys read this, and Sarah has mentioned this before about Dr. Ramsland, about how there's like some questions you might have for her. I think I have some questions too. But there is one teacher, you guys, that sees the red flags and brings it up and literally says that he's smart enough to earn his doctorate degree. So there's nothing you can do about that. You're smart enough. You're smart enough. Do you know what I mean? So the point is that this teacher was like, you guys, what are we going to do? Give him a degree and then what? Like, I think this teacher even goes as far as saying he's the professor that's good, that'll like, have complaints from the students because he harassed them in some way. And I was like, the fact that there's a teacher that picked up on that is amazing. But then as I kept reading the documents, I'm like, how can you not pick up on it? Like, you don't, hi Steelers fan, hi Caught Up in Crime. And if I missed anybody, a hi to you too. But you guys, do you know what I mean? Like when you see some of these, I don't know if you guys read these, but let me show you what I mean. So I have I am way prepared for this. Hold on. So in like the 500s you'll find a lot of that stuff, but it goes from people that he worked with as a TA. One of the TAs said that one of the teachers said that he would, what did she call it? Visual blocking. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Meaning that he would like stare in a way that like you couldn't get past him. And then one teacher says that he physically blocked her from leaving her classroom. I'm like, that's not okay. One of the things that I've seen in here more than once that I was like, I can relate to that. And please, if any of my students are listening, I'm not saying this in like a bad way. I can just relate to it. Sometimes when you're done class and you're wrapping up and like, I know that I have to drive on a busy road on the way home and that if I can leave in the next 5 minutes, I might miss some of the traffic type thing. So I'll start packing up, but you kind of feel bad because you're like, the student is still talking to me and I don't want them to think that I'm like trying to shut them down. Corey is the best. So I have my favorite male student and my favorite female student in here. Corey, I miss you so much and I cannot wait to see you at school, you and Abby. But anyway, you guys, I just saw Corey's name and got like so distracted because I'm talking about students, but I'll talk to them. So let's say Corey's after, and let's say Abby, Corey and Abby, since they're here, I'll use them. So let's say they both have a question for me after class. So let's say Corey's, and this happens more than once, not Corey or Abby. I'm using them really because, they're here. So I'm just using them as an example. But let's say Abby had a quick question. She would be like, you know what? I just have a quick question. Or one of them might be like, you go first. So whenever I hear someone say, you go first, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be here for a minute, which is fine, right? As long as I'm helping, I'm okay with that. But there's times, now if it were Corey or Abby, I'd be like, all right, cuz listen, I care and all, but can we like finish this conversation once I get past the traffic? And both of them would laugh at me and be like, absolutely, especially if it wasn't something that needed to be taken care of in that moment. When that happens, right, it's not abnormal for them to then walk with me as I'm packing up. Now we're walking down the hallway together. We get outside and I just keep walking to my car. That we're in the same parking lot, only I have the fancy parking where I get to park in like the first couple of rows and they have to park a little bit back further. So I usually get to my car first. Corey says, yes, she will. I will, right? But we'll get to my car and I'll talk to them by my car. And it never occurred to me. One of the teachers says here that one of the things they worried about, and she didn't say this in so many words, but this is really what she meant because I felt it, is that she felt the need to be like, we have no outside like relationship as far as like not even talking and all. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, that makes sense. So there's your buildings and everybody's looking out the windows. You have your chair looking out the window, whatever the case may be. And a teacher doesn't want to make it look like you're even being friends with a student like that. All of that is just not okay. It's one thing for me to be a role model or for me to give advice as a role model, things like that, or as like an academic advisor. But I would never be like, Corey, meet me outside and we'll go to the bar and like my treat. Like that wouldn't happen. Corey and Abby, if that's what you're waiting for, I'm not the one. No, I'm kidding. They know that I'm not. They both know that I've never drank either. Or I've never been drunk. Anyway, I'm fun though, I swear. If you don't think I'm fun, look at the short I just made. Did anybody see that? Do you guys remember the hello mother, hello father? I have to give my husband credit for that. He literally said to me, he's like, hello. And I was like, oh my God, you're a genius. And then I hung up with him and put it together. But do you guys understand why that's never okay? So there was a time where I was 25 and my students were 23, 24. So I was the same age as them. And I have to be honest with you, there was a time when I first started that I didn't really understand. I was kind of like, I was just a student. Like, what's the big deal? So now I'm the teacher. Like, we're still the same age. Thank God I never went to like a bar or anything with students. But I could see how a young teacher might, be like, what's the big deal? I also see how somebody like this teacher has BK as the one following her to the car and doesn't want any of that to be associated with her. So she makes it clear that like, we're not like nothing outside of this. So I just thought that was funny, but that happens often, you guys. So when I hear that he walked the teachers, like walked out with them and kept talking, there's nothing about that that's a red flag. If that was a red flag, I have a million red flags for the past 20 years that I've been at. I almost said it out loud, you guys, that I've been at a college in New Jersey because we always walk out together. Now, there's other campuses where the teacher's lot is like in the front and the student lot is like right behind the building. So in that case, the student and I will walk out the building, and then where we stop, like we'll stop and we'll continue to talk, and then I go the one way and they go the other way. But it's very rare that I've ever had, maybe once or twice I can remember. Do you guys remember when I had Dr. Schultz on and she said that she had that one stalker student? And I was like, oh my gosh, Dr. Schultz, like, I wonder if it's the same one I had. When we hung up, we both texted each other at the exact same time and said the person's name, and it's the exact same name. So we had the exact same student that we both felt uncomfortable with, that we both felt was like stalkerish material. And the thing is that we both experienced this. And I didn't write a complaint. She didn't write a complaint. I asked her, did you ever write a complaint? And she's like, no. Did you? No. So how many people experienced BK and just never said anything? Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be. So if these are the ones that we're hearing, what happened that we're not hearing? So yeah, so you know what I mean? But anyway, so that was the one big thing that I saw. I don't know if anybody has questions about any of that. But I think students understand too when you let them know like why. And I don't know if you guys like, hopefully everybody sees this, but if you're a teacher, even if you're the same exact age as your students, there was a time where I had students that were older than me. My very first class was a group of sign language interpreters, and they were all coming back to school. So they were already had a degree. They were coming back to school because they all had to get certified in like a few different classes for their sign language interpreting. And I literally was the youngest one. Why does my one bang always do that? I was literally the youngest one in the class. On break, I would call my husband and be like, I can't do this. Like and he would remind me that there's a reason that I might not be a master in, and I think this has followed me. So this is good advice. I might not be a master in in sign language, but I do have a master and now a doctorate in I'm able to do that in psychology. So they were clearly there to take a psych class. If they were there for American Sign Language, then maybe we're talking. So I would try to remember that. So you guys try to remember that. Just like I say here, right? I'm not an expert at everything, but when it comes to things like fantasy offenders, which we're about to get into, I think we got something going on. Also, it's going to be exciting. Again, if you're just coming in, welcome, and please subscribe. And I don't even think I got to tell you yet. I think I'm out, or I am out of, right? I'm out of YouTube jail. I'm like afraid to say it out loud, like as if they made a mistake and tomorrow they're going to be like, psych, and take it back. We'll see what happens. But hopefully not. Okay, so let me show you guys. So what I did was I went to ChatGPT. I'm not one of those people that acts like I did everything on my own. I went to ChatGPT, and what I'll do is, so I uploaded all of the documents and then asked it to process it for me so that I can ask questions. So if you guys ever want something like that, just upload the document and literally tell it to process it so that you could ask questions. And then it should process it. The thing is, if I didn't read the entire document, I wouldn't know when it wasn't telling me the right thing. So once or twice, I actually, I'm so excited. Cuff-U said proof, no more jail or probation. Cuff-U, I think it was the memberships that they took away from me. So when 2 memberships were bought, I think that's what really makes me think that I'm out of it. So I hope so, Cuff You, please. Thank you so much, Cuff You. And Cuff You, write me that message after this and I'll make sure that I look at it so we can figure something out. Thank you, Cuff You. Thank you, all of you, for being here. What was the strike for, Lucy? They didn't even strike me, Lucy. They literally demonetized me. I got no strike. I was just like, you're done. And it was because when the DT show, I shared the live as a video and it flagged the algorithm. And I did it like twice or 3 times. And I admitted to it. I wasn't trying to lie about it. My point was there's nothing in the policy that says that if you dual stream and it sounds really unpleasant for your subs and you hang up the dual stream so that they have a better experience, that you can't then upload it afterwards, especially if you're the co-host, right? So that's ridiculous. So I kept talking about the policy. So I'm hoping maybe that's what did it. We'll see. All right, let's see. Sarah's your spirit animal. That's funny. Yes, good Lord, exactly. All right, so let's talk about this ChatGPT thing that I did real quick. Let me share this with you guys. So I will always be honest when I use ChatGPT to help me and when I do something on my own. So over here, if you see, I wrote, can you please process these for questions? So let me just make sure you guys could see it. Yes, you can. Let me see if I can make this bigger. What happens if I hit this one? Oh, now I'm really small. They have all these little things. Oh, now I'm really big. I don't want that one either. I just want to go back to what I was a minute ago. So let's see. I shouldn't have touched it, you guys. Oh, unless I do this one for a second so we could see it. Let me do this for a second because I'm assuming you can all still hear me. If you can't hear me, well, I just said if you can't hear me, let me know. But if you couldn't hear me, you wouldn't be able to let me know. So that wasn't the smartest thing ever. But hopefully you guys could hear me. I made it a little bit bigger, so hopefully you could see it a little bit bigger over here. I don't know why it has this space over here. Oh, there we go. Nice. So I talked to ChatGPT and told it that I think that like I would go in. So I asked it to help me for purposes of making a live, like to help me with my notes. One of the reasons is because I went back to work and I have 10 classes that I have to make Canvas shells for. So my students that are listening, I took on 10 classes this semester. I am losing my mind. That's like bananas, you guys. So I'm not talking bad about myself, Sarah. Let's see. It's so handy. I've been getting ChatGPT to help you make study plans and explain music theory. Oh my God, that's great, right? She stopped. Who stopped? Oh, I stopped talking bad about myself. Thank you, Truth. Yes, welcome to the new members. Thank you, Lucy, for saying that too, because I think people need to know that it's okay to use something like Grok or ChatGPT, whatever it is that you're comfortable with. I even let my students use it. So I think that that's okay too. Who sent you to ChatGPT? You want to know what's funny? ChatGPT came out in November of, I want to say, oh my God, was it like 2022-ish? Anyway, it came out in November and I was getting my cell phone fixed and I was at AT&T, and while I was waiting for my cell phone to get fixed, the two guys that work there were like, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this. So then I'm like, wait, what's happening? So they showed me and they're like, there's this thing called ChatGPT. And then by the time I was done there waiting for my phone, I like wrote it down and went home and started to play with it. And then of course, all of these have like paid versions. And I promise you the $20 version of ChatGPT is so worth it. I don't know if you guys know this, but it does everything from help you with notes, study plans, to it'll give you meal plans if you need it. It'll give you recipes. You could write in it what you have in the house and be like, I have no idea what to make for dinner. This is what we have. And it'll give you something. This part, I don't really want to advance, but I do have a lot of students that will talk to it as like for advice. And I would say just be careful with that. You know what I mean? And yes, Mary, you can upload the info to ChatGPT, I believe, if you have the paid version. So, oh, you use it at work for real estate? See, you guys, it's used for everything. And I also think there's a whole bunch of different ones. Yes, Caplia, there's Grok. There's so many of them. There's Jenny. There's like all these things. I just happen to like ChatGPT, and when I find something that works, I stick with it. So let me show you what I did here. So I had a conversation with it, and I told it that I believe that he was a fantasy killer. And I then asked it to go through, and I wanted it to make me a chart to focus on fantasy wherever it talked in the documents about anything related to fantasy. However, if you look back here, I have a couple of charts, right? So I wasn't 100% sold on the final chart. So I kept going back and forth until oh no, what happened here? Now tell me if it tells me now that I ran out of coder session expired. All right, well, I have it right here. So I'm gonna give me 1 sec so I can take a screenshot because I still have it on here. Oh, look, as soon as I took a screenshot, it went away. That is so funny, you guys. All right, I'm going to ask it to redo. That's the other thing. So you don't have to redo the entire question. You literally can write, can you? I always write, please. Please redo. And let's see what happens. Because sometimes, I don't know why I did that, though. It gave me a chart. So I don't know why. Usually when it gives you a link, it does that, which it just did here. But I had a chart of her. So I'm kind of surprised that it switched over to a link. But let's see what happens. Please work. If not, I could just go back to something that I've done before that. All right, let's give it a second and see what's happening. So why it's happening there, let me see. Am I missing anything in chat? Yes, hit that like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you. Yes, Mark, the option to buy a membership is back. I think I'm out of jail. All right, now ChatGPT doesn't want to work here. Let's refresh it and see what happens. ChatGPT, I'm talking nice about you. Can you please show the people that you work well? All right, let's see. Is this the new one? Yep. All right, good. Hopefully it's the same one that they gave me before. Oh my gosh, why did it come up like that? It's okay, I'm still gonna go with it. All right, let me switch over here so I could bring it up. They gave me like a different thing to show it on. So let me show you. No, not that. Hold on. Share screen. Here it goes. Well, it's going to let me do it. Let me see if it's letting you guys see this, hopefully. Oh, I thought I just X'd out of here, but I didn't, thank God. Oh no, what did I do? You guys, hold on. I don't know what I did here. StreamYard, please come back. I know it's still here and you guys are still on it, but for some reason, I just hit all of the things in my computer. I think my computer shut it off. What's happening? My computer sucks. Ugh. Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. So oh, now I'm here twice. All right, I got rid of the other one. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. All right. There we go. All right, we're here and I'm not echoing, thank God. Thank you, Cuffio. You know what this reminds me of? Do you guys like sometimes this will happen to, hi DT, welcome. Sometimes this will happen to Watts the Obsession, and I always feel bad when this happens to her, and I'm always like, Kelly, relax, nobody's leaving, like we're all here for you, chill. So Cuffio, that just reminded me of that. So I appreciate that. Hopefully we're good now. I think that one was my fault, let me be honest. I think I accidentally hit X. So I'm pulling this back up real quick over here. So Daniel or anybody else that's just coming in, we're going over some of the fantasy stuff from the documents. So I read all of the documents, and then I went to ChatGPT. I'm letting everybody know, at least I'm 100% honest about this. I went to ChatGPT. I asked it to please process all of the documents for questioning, which it did. I then went on, let's see, is it going to give it to me? It did. So then I went on and I asked it to give me all of the places in the document that it says A, B, and C type thing. Then because I read it more than once and because I actually have a really good memory, I was like, something ain't right. Like, I don't remember that on that page, or like, that doesn't make sense or whatever. So I literally went back and was like, are these dates correct? And it was like, great catch, Dr. Vona. I was like, so you do have to be careful, you guys. So don't take it like 100%, because if I did, that wouldn't have been cool. I have it up here. I think I have to do it this way. Let me see let me just try one more thing. If not, I'll figure it out. But let's see. Oh, duh. Here we go. I just had a straight A stupid moment. Oh, no, I don't see it, you guys. I don't know where it's at. So what I'll do is, let me just tell you about some of the things, and let me see if I can pull the document up. If I could pull the document up, I have this over here on my tablet, so I could always at least go to the document and pull it up that way. So let me go to my files so I could pull it up for everyone. Again, this is the newest timeline. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. I actually have them all from yesterday. I didn't realize how many things I did yesterday. That is too funny. Wow. I was really on this yesterday. I don't think I realized how much I did. So let me see if this will pull it up now. No, you know what? I ain't even worried about that, you guys. Let's just get to the damn document. Here we go. It's pulling it up now. As soon as it comes up, I will share it. Oh, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. I'm so appreciative. Oh, WSU didn't protect the women. If this happened to WSU, they'd be in. So that's one of the things we're talking about, right, you guys, is that, you know, if this, that I think something should have been done a lot sooner. When I talked about the FERPA, that brought me back to the FERPA thing that I was talking about. The reason that I talked about FERPA is because it doesn't fit here. So FERPA protects you until you do something criminal. Once you've crossed the line and you do something criminal, you no longer have the FERPA right. So it's different in that you can commit a crime and still have the HIPAA law on your side. Here, if you commit a crime with FERPA, that's it. That's it. So why is that important? Because, and I'm going to make this full screen for you guys so that you can see it better. This is important because I do not believe that FERPA played a role in this. So again, FERPA, just in case you're just coming in, it's the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. It's like the academic version of the HIPAA law. Okay. It's what Catherine Ramsland used for one of the reasons why she wasn't going further into the BK stuff. She used the FERPA law. The problem with it is that it doesn't prevent departments from taking action against the TA. So if I have a complaint against a TA, this FERPA law, because it then becomes criminal, it does not, like harassment. You're not allowed to do that. That's not just like a rule that you can't do at the college. That's also against the law. So once it crosses that line, you're no longer protected by FERPA. So it doesn't prevent the department from taking action. It said, what I have here is that FERPA may have slowed down transparency, but that's about it. Okay, so that's about it. So it might have slowed down transparency, but in all reality, nothing more really was affected by the FERPA law. So if anybody does try to quote FERPA or talk about FERPA, that would be a problem here. The next thing I have here, so I have my thing here. So the first one it says to go to is page 13. I'm so glad that I wrote all the pages down. And let me show you why. So I have over here, so this is about the fantasy stuff. For some reason, it's not, my picture isn't coming up that I put. So We're going to do it this way instead. I wish there was another way I could figure this out, but I'm having like a straight A stupid moment, which is fine. I'll show you the document and I'll tell you. So I wanted to look over everything that had to do with fantasy and traits. And because ChatGPT didn't put my newest one up, or I can't get to it and put it up here, I'm just going to wing it. I almost just said something inappropriate. I'm going to wing it. Okay. So the first thing, because I have a list over here of them and I can just talk about them. I don't need chat. It was more to give you guys a visual while I was going through it. So fantasy leakage is my very first thing. On page 13, the survivor hears him say, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." Why would this be a survivor leakage? I believe it's survivor leakage because it shows that savior destroyer, that stranger destroyer, what's the word I'm looking for? Dichotomy. That's what I'm looking for. So in one instance, it's like, you know, I can be the arbiter of who lives and I can be the arbiter of who dies. But think when even further than that, you guys, think about somebody who that is there to take you out. Imagine them calming you first and being like, pretty much like, don't scream. I'm here to help you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what makes this comment not only fantasy driven, but it is, yes, there needs to be a straight A stupid shirt, Daniel. I agree with that. And the sharpest knife in the sky. Do you guys remember when I said that? I was like, he's not the sharpest knife in the sky. And we all laughed because I was like, that was not the sharpest answer in the world. But I will get that on a shirt. I love that, Daniel. So it's okay. I'm going to help you has that savior script where it's like, all right, calm down. I'm going to help you. And think about it. What if Xana calmed down just for a minute because she thought in her head, well, wait, maybe he is here to help me. It's enough to calm you down for a second for the person to then attack. So that's what makes it, you know, so egregious. The next one I have written down is page 74. So this is on pages, I have 77 to 80. So here we go. And then 183 to 184, which I'll get to in a minute. But this is all about his car circling, okay? So this next part is all about his car circling that area. It's also, like I said, in the hundreds. If anybody's writing this down, it should be page 183 to 184. Again, we're talking about the first video was captured at 1122 King Road. So again, make sure that if you do use something like a ChatGPT that it gets the page numbers right, because hours ago when I first did this, I was like, I don't remember reading that there. And I questioned it and it was like, oh yeah, Dr. Vona, you're so smart. And I was like, okay, well, I pay you every month to be smarter. So please do your job. Thank you. And then it pretty much, since then, I think gave me the right page numbers, at least the ones that I checked. So here we go here. This is about circling the King Road house 12 times plus. It could be up to 24, right? Compulsive rehearsal of a fantasy. So this is fantasy rehearsal, you guys. So every time he goes around that corner, it's like rehearsing for when he's going to do it. I know some people said that he might have been circling because he was trying to build the carriage up. I think that might have been Howard Bloom that said that, who I really, really like. But I think that that's ill-informed. I almost said if Kohberger did it. We know that he did it. In this case, I don't think that he was trying to build carriage to go in. I literally think that he was waiting for Maddie's light to go out or all of the lights to go out. And that way he could then go in. If you look at that last time, he like pulls in, then backs up and then does that 3-point turn and comes back down. So I don't know. I don't feel, in my opinion, that he was doing that because he was building up courage. I think, in my opinion, that he was circling the house as a compulsive rehearsal of fantasy. All right. The next thing I have is fantasy intrusion, page 93, fantasy intrusion. So I came up with this. Let me see. Okay. So this one has to do with the knife sheath. So this is the thing. Chances are the knife sheath was left by accident. Okay. Chances are that he was, I think Daniel and I have talked about this, and Daniel has even said he might not have even realized that he even left it or lost it. He might not have realized he even brought it in, right? So we're not positive if it was left there on purpose or not. And I don't know that we'll ever really know. However, the knife sheath, let's say, because there is a chance, right, that he did leave it there on purpose. And I would say that there's a question there, because if you were to know that you were going to take your knife sheath with you, I don't know that you would be that careful about not getting any DNA evidence inside. You know, he only had that one little part inside the button snap. So let's just say he did leave that there. I would say that this would be fantasy intrusion. So the knife sheath left on the bed is symbolic of intrusion and a mark of his presence. We're not sure now. I think we're all pretty, not all of us, but many of us are up in the air now about, was it Maddie? Was it Kaylee? And chances are it might be Kaylee, you guys. If you look at the pictures from Dateline, they all look like Kaylee. And I mentioned that as soon as we watched Dateline, but then I kept going back and saying, well, it might have been Maddie. It might have been Maddie. We're not really sure. I think we all realized, or most of us realized, that it was probably both. It's probably more about who he can't have than less about, you know, whether it was Maddie or Kaylee. But if you think about it, this was Kaylee's last weekend there. This could have been in his head, his like last chance. So there's many reasons that I can make it one or the other, but I think that we're better off as if it's both. Because again, I do think that it has to do with people that he couldn't have. Next we have, I wrote down fantasy collapse. So let's see what I did here, 92 to 96. So we're already on 93. What's on 92? Upstairs victim still. So Xana resisted, fantasy shattered, rage escalated. Okay, so fantasy collapse here is in reference to he has a fantasy. A lot of serial offenders have fantasies. So he goes in and he tries to play out that fantasy. And whether the fantasy was interrupted because Kaylee wasn't in her own room or because Maddie wasn't in her room, whatever the case may be, he then gets through that. And now Xana's there who completely like, I mean, I already think one of the two girls, whichever one he wasn't expect to be there, ruined part of his fantasy. But I think seeing Xana really did. And I think that it could have escalated his rage, even with Kaylee. Let's say he went in there for Maddie, or let's say he went to Kaylee's room for her and she wasn't in there. You could see how that might inflict rage when, you know, with her. And then the same thing with Xana. She comes up and, or he meets her in the hallway, whatever the case may be. And that would make him that much more infuriated and more likely to be even more what's the word I'm looking for? It was like what's the word I'm looking for? It begins with a V, ferocious. Is that the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I mean. The next thing I have is on page 366 to 370. All right, let's see what this is about. 366, this is data processing equipment. So let's see. So over here I have peers say that he forced himself into conversations and he seemed awkward and arrogant. So this one for me is about fantasy and social life. Why is this important? Because we're going to see that I also believe that his fantasy and social life, if you guys read these documents, one of the common themes that I've seen throughout the entire document was that he used his intellect, okay, as a way to mask normalcy, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else got that same vibe, but that's definitely the vibe that I got. So by, you know, by using his academics, he sounds fancy, right? He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. But this was one of the ways that he was able to connect to other students. If they were in the same program together, they had something to talk about. You will see, I don't know if you guys really got into the end of these documents, but some of them I was like at first I was like, is that bad taste if I do that hello mother, hello father thing? And then I'm like, no, it's in bad taste, all of the things that he's done. I mean, he's just done some really mean things. I have a disabled daughter, and I don't know if anybody read that part, but he tells a disabled student that he goes to class with, she's disabled. And I don't know exactly, because in two different, it's like mentioned in two different ways, but pretty much it was something along the lines of if he mates in the future, like I guess if he has children, that he would never have children with someone who wasn't physically perfect, including no disability. That was like so annoying to me. Even if I didn't have a disabled daughter, that's just so annoying to me because he has not had the best history, right? So who is he to be the arbiter of what's perfect or not, right? And the girl said that, like, if you read these documents, she's like, she's outraged by this. She's like, wait, what? And he like doesn't seem like, I feel like if I were to say that, I would never say it to somebody, but I feel like if somebody were to say that to somebody, like you would feel that that wasn't a socially acceptable thing to say. Somebody might say that that could be part of, autism and stuff. I disagree. I've had plenty of autistic students, and I feel like they know the difference between what they're supposed to say and what's not socially acceptable. So they might not always get a social cue. They do most of the time, but not always. But this is far more than that, you guys. This seems to be chronic. It happens when he wants it to happen. It happens when he's being creepy. It happens when he's discussing his manlyhood, and you could tell he's very misogynistic, even with the whole, and I think we all guessed that a little bit by him going to The Handmaid's Tale, that whole thing. But I feel like these documents, even more so, go into how misogynistic he is. Over here we have on 368, let me see what I have here. So this goes all the way to 370, where they're talking to other people, the forensics people, and they're talking about, let's see, the Washington State students. It says that at about 8:16 p.m., AC Daniels executed the warrant in his office. The office was empty. It says, I started a pre-search video of the office. Once completed, the ISP forensic scientist Tara Martinez photographed the office. No belongings of Kohberger were identified. No items were seized for evidentiary purpose. One of these things, so it says that it was secured and the scene was cleared. And it also says that they provided the, photograph, so on and so forth. Okay. I think this is important because there's no evidentiary value here. And we see that with his apartment. We see that with the crime scene, all of those things. If you look, and I don't know exactly what page it's on, I'm sure I have it written down somewhere, so I could always put it, in the description later. But one of the students talks about how they had 3 of 4 books that they had to read for class. And the third of the 4th book was a book on DNA evidence. And apparently, according to multiple classmates, he was most lively during this particular book. So what does that say, right? I'm lighting a candle. Oh, I just burnt myself. So what does it say, right? So this just says a lot about him, you guys. This says so much about him. I hope you guys are following everything I'm saying. I think you are. But I'm on this over here so I don't get distracted. So if you're writing something in the chat, I apologize. Please know that I'm trying not to get distracted. I'm going to turn this around. So this over here, hopefully you guys could still see me. Let me look. Yeah, you can. So over here, yes, this is all data. Sure. So this is, let me go back. I have it on that page for a specific reason, but let me show you guys what this is. So this is called the Adult Victim Background Questionnaire. And it seems like they've given this to multiple people in the lives of the victims at the time. However, we clearly don't have all of the data yet. So we only have one victim background questionnaire filled out in this packet that I was able to find. In that, it talks about, and this is going from August to the present, okay? So from August to the present, and it's asking questions like, when was your last contact? So 2 days before. So I go through and I realize that this one's for Kaylee, okay? So this one's for Kaylee. Excuse me. So it says, they're just asking about Maddie and stuff. And she just goes through and says that Maddie's been her friend since they were little. You keep going and it talks about personality, behaviors, and attitudes. I thought this was crazy, right? Not crazy, but maybe that was a bad word for this. But if you're really close to a friend, and I mean, touch wood, that never happens. But if you're ever in this situation, I just thought, I was like, oh, wow. The first thing she says when they say describe Kaylee's personality is Kaylee was stubborn. She liked to argue, wanted to win every argument, headstrong, fearless. She wanted to experience everything. So here, I don't think that this person means anything negative. I think she was literally just trying to say headstrong. But if you just read this, you're like, oh, wait, they say she's stubborn. But I think they're just talking about how she's headstrong. When she has her mind set to something, from what I've been reading in here, she does it. It also talks about how she's very much into social media. She's always on her phone and following trends, which aren't we all, right? You're all here right now. I'm live. So we're into at least YouTube, and we're all talking. So I don't think that that's really out of the norm. She was very excited. We were finishing our college career and wanted to leave Moscow, wanted something new, also recently single. So she wanted to get out more and try new things. Okay. So let me make this bigger for you guys. So she wanted to get out more and try new things. Then it asked to list any significant events prior to her, passing, as far as problems with relationships, work, so on and so forth. This person says her and blank, and we know this to be her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, right? At the time that they ended their relationship on good terms and her job was going well. So nothing there, right? Nothing to see. So then they asked to describe any potential risky behavior. And this person says that Kaylee would sometimes communicate with blank on social media. What is that? You guys put in the comment what you like. What is that? And again, it says describe any potential risky behaviors. For example, transactions, excessive use of alcohol, drinking and driving, online activity. And it says Kaylee would sometimes communicate with blank on social media. I'm dying to know who the blank is. Is it a group of people? Is it one person? This could be anything. So I don't know what that is. But then it asks to describe her daily schedule. This person says that she wakes up with Murphy, takes him out, gets on her computer and starts to work. That when she's done working, they would take their dogs on a play date and she'd go home and have dinner with her roommates. And then it says nothing was different during that week. She would go out almost every weekend with Maddie. And then over here, it asks about social and interpersonal relationships. When I saw this, I was like, the thing that he doesn't have. So he's lacking in social and interpersonal relationships. I've been saying that from the beginning, which is why I don't believe that he had anybody to help him, because I don't believe that he was able to make interpersonal relationships. If he was, he probably wouldn't be in this position to begin with, right? I think we also get to see that it's not so much that he couldn't get somebody or get a friend or get a girlfriend. He ostracized himself by saying things like, oh, if I have a kid or whatever, it's going to have to be with someone that's perfect. She can't be disabled or have anything wrong with her. Like, they're the things that are going to turn somebody off, right? So over here, it just reminds us that she's been friends with Kaylee since 6th grade, Maddie has, and that the ex-boyfriend and her have been going out since freshman year of high school. So, and I think that we see this sometimes, right? I had a boyfriend from my freshman year of high school till I was 21. So same thing as Kaylee. And I look back now and I'm like, thank God. Not that person's a bad person or I was a bad person. It's just there was somebody else better out there for both of us. So this one says, has this person, Kaylee, changed recently? And they say she's been upset and grieving. I don't know if they mean of the relationship. Over here, they leave this one blank. It's asking if she's ever discussed fear, displayed fear, concern, discomfort, and we have nothing there. Then over here, describe anyone with whom Kaylee did not get along with. And it says, can't think of anyone specifically, just her typical arguments with friends here and there, which we all have, right? Especially when you're living with, especially females. I don't know what it is about us females, but guys know how to be friends much better than we can sometimes. So over here we have, can't think of any names, but a number of fraternity. So it's asking about people that might have been interested in Kaylee. And she's saying multiple guys from the fraternity. It says she's just loud and fun. She wanted everyone to have a good time. She was always up for an adventure. She's very friendly. I'm almost done this part, and then I'll tell you what this has to do with what I wrote down. For education and employment online company, I don't know if you guys knew this, but when I was reading this, she was getting paid like $25 to $27 an hour, and it was a full-time internship. That's unheard of. I don't know if anybody here has done an internship, but they're usually free. My daughter just did 40 hours a week for, what was it like? It was a lot of weeks. She had to do it 3,200 hours. And none of it was paid. So the fact that Kaylee was able to find an internship that gave her $1 would be like, wow. The fact that she had an internship and it paid her so well was like mind blowing when I read it. I was like, good for you, girl. Good for you. Sorry, I needed a drink. All right, this next part says about online activities, none that I knew about. We joked about it. What did they joke about? It says, what online activities did she engage with in which resulted in financial gain? Over here, it says onlyfans.com, sugarbabies.com, etc. And this person says, none that I knew, but we joked about it. I don't, look down on that at all. Who doesn't? I don't know. I've joked. I feel like most of us have joked about something like that in the past. So coffee shop is where she worked, Washington State. Oh, this was one of the ones. Describe time Kaylee spent on other campuses or with individuals associated with other universities besides University of Idaho. And look at this, Washington State. We'd go to the bars. You guys, what if this is where they ran into him for the first time? We all keep thinking that it's the Mad Greek, and it very much could be, right? But it literally says we'd go to the bars in Washington State. So I don't know. Who knows? I think it was Sarah yesterday asked me on a different live if I, in the chat, if I thought he was drunk. I think it was Sarah during the time of the crime. And I said, no, I don't think so. But then when I was reading these papers after that, it does suggest that one of the people said that she went to a bar with it. I think it was like more for an apartment type thing. But she said at the bar, she witnessed him buy a bottle of wine and drink the entire bottle. That was in October. That says a lot to me, you guys. That's falling off the, I don't know if Nina's still in here, but Nina, can you speak on this a little bit? Or, or anybody here that's dealt with addiction? Like, even though it might not be his drug of choice, think of it as a gene. So about 6-7% of us all have the gene for addiction. And then it takes something from the environment to turn that gene on. So whether it be getting drunk, high, whatever the case may be. When you then go into sobriety, you don't ever completely shut that gene off. Think of it more as like, the lights that you could dim. Think of it as a dimmer light, and it's all the way down at the bottom. So you never shut it all the way off. It's all the way at the lowest dim that it could be. So to the naked eye, it looks like the light's off, but unless you really click the button, it's still on, right? What does that say to me? That bottle of wine could have turned that dimmer light back up. And it only takes one thing for you to then spiral and use substances again. So it is my opinion now that I read that. I don't know that it would have been very easy to have a night where you could go out to the bar, have a whole bottle of wine, get drunk, and then just be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that again. Especially, in his situation. So I'm wondering if this could have been evidence of him spiraling or falling off of the wagon. So then we have, she used social media a lot. She's with her dog Murphy a lot. Maddie, her car, were things important to her. Let's see what else. Potential stalker. We've heard about that already. They spent a lot of time together with their dogs. And I think that was the end. Oh no, there's one more. Worked from home, hung out with her roommates, went out on the weekend. I'm passing. That's so sad. Okay. So let me bring it back to what I was going to say. Okay, so let's see. What does this have to do with it? So I wrote over here, I put fantasy through psychology. Were they the pages I was on? Let me just look to make sure. Yes. So fantasy through psychology. So over here in the next part, they talk about 446. All right. All right. So this is going to talk about the pool party. And it says that he recruits women into surveys, manipulates normal setting into an experiment. Oh, let me turn this around so we can see it better. There we go. We're back to normal. Okay, so this is going to be about the pool party, you guys, that we know that he went to in July. So we know that he went to a pool party in July. I think we do start to see like signs of trouble as soon as August, but I'm wondering if in October when he he really did buy a bottle of wine. I don't know why somebody would just make that up. And I'm sure that that's something that they can, go to the bar and see if they could pull it up. So I don't know why somebody would make that up. So I don't think they did. But there was signs of him falling off, since August. Could that have just been his regular personality? I don't know. Okay, so over here, let's see. So this person met him at the school orientation. Nothing stood out about him that she recalls. And again, we're on 445 of 556. So she met and interacted with him at a second event during October or November of 2022, a night out at the bar with graduate students. He asked her about her research interest and how it was practicing blank. So whatever it is that she was, researching. And then it says none of their areas of interest in law overlap. That happens often, you guys, where I might be, studying identity development. Somebody else is studying addiction, right? So they could overlap at some point, but they're really two different areas of research. So I think that's all she was saying here, is that their research just didn't overlap. As faculty, they discussed graduate students. Prior to going on break, Kohberger was one of the main people of conversation, specifically his behavior around women. He was aggressive towards women and made them feel uncomfortable. The faculty discussed how they could intervene. How about you fire him? Another teacher came to her and complained about one of the TAs. No names were brought up, but it was regarding a TA making women uncomfortable. She recommended he document the issues in writing. Remember what I said in the beginning, you guys? If it's not in writing, there's really no proof that it happened. Another teacher came to her and complained about I just read that one. Kohberger was I didn't mean to say his name. BK was respectful during their conversations with him. However, on January 13th of 2023, there was another interview conducted, and this interview was done with, let's say, a business consultant who attended the pool party. Okay, so this is what I was getting to. So who attended the pool party. So over here in my notes, again, remember I said that he recruits women into like his surveys and manipulates the normal setting into an experiment. We've said this multiple times. He's very mechanical. We've talked about this on Drunk Turkey, right? If you look at the footsteps, he goes in one way, he comes out one way, if they're his, right? But we do know that he's very mechanical and scientific in nature. It's like with him, 1 + 1 = 2, and that's it. Like if there's not a way to solve the problem, I think that's when he feels out of control. Over here, it says in the summary that blank has worked at blank consulting for approximately a year. She got a degree in blank from the University of Idaho. She attended the pool party in July of 2022 with some friends. He came up and introduced himself to her very intentionally. They shook hands and he had a very firm, dominant grip. Just so you ladies know, when you shake a person's hand, make sure you always have a dominant grip so that they don't subconsciously mistake you for weak. Okay. He said he was new to the town and went to school at WSU. It was very bland conversation and she wasn't interested in talking to him. He was in her vicinity and kept trying to join the conversation with her. She thought it was odd. He gave an off vibe and she kept her eye on him. He seemed very used to being put off by women. That's a big one. He seemed very used to being put off by women. He seemed okay with it. That to me was like a red flag. Sarah, if you're still on there. Oh no.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I said Siri. I didn't. I said Sarah. Sorry, Siri. Sarah, if as a behavior analyst, okay, the fact that she says that it seems like he's okay with putting women off, what do you think they mean by that? I mean, I know what they mean by that, but you know what I mean by what I'm asking. So he made beelines to where he wanted to go. It seemed like he wanted to make friends, but felt very uncomfortable. Let's be honest. That's kind of sad, you guys. Somebody maybe should have jumped in and intervened years and years prior to help him. I know that a lot of, students that I have that even are autistic, right? Like, even if they're not autistic, people sometimes need help with social skills, especially in Gen X? Yeah, I'm Gen Z, so Gen X. A lot of Gen X, if you're here, a lot of you are used to social media. A lot of you were in school with the pandemic, right? So, I mean, all of that plays a role in social skills or the lack thereof. So I feel like, the ball was dropped somewhere, or maybe he just wasn't interested. I'm not sure. But on January 17th, the detective and I conducted an interview in Pullman, Washington. Blank works as a student in the psychology program. So this was important to me because of the psychology part. The following is a summary of the interview. Okay. So she saw BK every day during the semester at the cafe, always near closing time and sometimes over the summer prior to school starting. He liked to talk specifically with her. She believes he told her his name was blank. He would ask her questions about her school program in psychology. He asked about the psychological assessment she was learning about, but she told him she wasn't interested in that area of study. Again, so in the last one, it was about law, and he tried to connect with somebody under law and research, and their topics didn't overlap. Now he's talking to her, and their psychology interests don't overlap. So her friend was at the register once when BK came in, and he asked for blank by name. She was certain she never told him her name, and she doesn't wear a name tag. She was unaware of how he knew her name. It seemed that BK knew what hours she worked and made remarks about her hours. So this goes beyond autism to me, you guys. Again, if anybody's autistic out there and you're in, the live, please jump in for this. But I hate when I hear people blaming his lack of social skills on autism. He knows, it says here, he knows better, and he still does it. So it's as if he's doing it on purpose, because who does that? I'm sorry. I don't care what a person might, have. I don't care, I have ADHD. I don't care what we have. The bottom line is that it is creepy 100% to say someone's name that never gave you their name. And not only that, but to know about her hours. That's a little creepy. So it says BK would come in with a female blank. She doesn't know her name. She asked BK's female friend where she was from. The female told her to guess. She guessed blank, and BK remarked to the female, "See, I told you she was smart." You guys, that just shows that he was talking about her prior. You wouldn't say, "I told you she was smart," if you weren't already speaking about him, right? So that's a little bit weird. All right, let's see. Oh, I wasn't looking at the chat for a minute, but I did just see someone say that maybe the parents didn't teach him social skills, or maybe they tried and he just wasn't interested. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason. He doesn't seem like he's interested in learning social skills or learning how he could better get along with people. So over here, it says she was always uninterested in talking with him, and she would try to walk away, but he would just keep talking. She told a coworker she was uncomfortable and would let her know when he came in so she could avoid him. So now we're getting to the point, you guys, where he's not only making people feel uncomfortable, but the people that he's making feel uncomfortable are warning other people that they're, friends with or acquaintances with to watch out, because he's, you avoid him. It says she lives in blank in Pullman, Washington. There are a few times weird things happened around that time. Wait to hear this. But she believes they are probably unrelated. She was home alone one night, changing in her room, and someone knocked on her window. She called her husband. He came home from work, but he didn't see anything. Another time, after she had started working at blank, she heard someone moving around on her porch at approximately 7 p.m. Her husband came home again and saw a white car leaving the area. Both occurrences were in August or September. You guys, why is this important to me? Because we hear other experiences that people had that said that they heard crunching of the leaves outside when they would let Murphy out, and they made them feel like there was somebody out there. Or we see the picture in the crime scene photos of the hands on the window. I don't know if Daniel, if you're still in here or not, but if you are in that crime scene photo, remember the one where it looks like the hands are lifting up the window?
I want you to go back and look at it because I don't have it on me, Daniel. But if you go back and look at it, remember the part where we said it looks like it could have been like his sleeve that like there's like another little mark. Go look at it again when you blow it up. I think it's his finger or whoever's it is. I think it's the thumb. It looks like they tried to push it up and then do it a second time. So I just was wondering if anybody else sees that same thing. And I know that me and Daniel had talked about it. So if you see it or a Steelers fan, you'll have to let me know. Okay. So that was, let me go back real quick. All right. So this one right here. All right. So this one says at the pool party, he would recruit women by talking about his research and stuff. But again, if their things didn't overlap, and it seemed like a lot of women were put off by him, even if they did, right? So that stands out to me. On page 513 to 517, because I don't want to keep you guys here all night. Let's see, 513. Meanwhile, I have like core shells to make, but I'm like procrastinating. All right, on 513. Okay, I put fantasy in the classroom. Students say that he graded harshly. He gave strange feedback, that it was a power play through intellectual control. I couldn't agree with that statement more. So again, it was a power play through intellectual control. As the instructor, you guys, when I go to school starting, tomorrow when I go, I'm trying to get it to where I could see you guys. There we go. So I don't know what happened to the rest of the screen though, but let's see. Oh, there we go. So when I go back to school, you guys, I know, even when I told you when I was the same age as the students, I even know that there's a power differential there. So even whether I'm younger, older, the same age, it doesn't matter. The fact that I give the grade at the end of the semester now puts me in a position where I'm in a position of power. I hold, your future grade. So that right there, even if he didn't know it on his own, I feel as though that should have been explained to him better, right? Does anybody else agree? Like it should have been. Lucy, you guys, Lucy gifted 5 The Minds Behind True Crime memberships. Lucy, thank you for supporting me. You guys, this definitely means that I'm out of YouTube jail. Woohoo! I'm so excited, which I don't know how because I appealed and my appeal got denied, but I don't know. Let's just hope it works. Lucy, thank you. If you got a membership from Lucy, please say thank you. Sarah, real quick, thank you. Sarah says he went there to kill and not study. So yes, to go and like stalk it. I totally agree with that. Oh, Dee Dee, hi. I didn't even see you come in. You gifted a Mind Behind True Crime membership. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting me. You have no idea. Oh my God, another one? What is up with you guys? I can't even take it. Sometimes I don't even know how to respond to you guys other than saying thank you, obviously. But the last time we were here, I cried when people gifted memberships. I'm like, all right, you got to stop doing that. People are going to think you're like a big wimp. So I'm just very appreciative. You have no idea. Thank you, you guys. Thank you to all of you. All right, back to this real quick so I could get this back. So there is a power thing here. Because he has intellectual control over their grade, that's huge, you guys. That is his ability to now control the situation and be in a power move, okay, or to have that power. The last thing I have over here on page, and just so you know, this goes from page 513 to 517. So if we went through this, let's see. I was present during da-da-da. So this is about collected items. I think we're on the defenses part. So at the end, it talks about the defense stuff, but it was in here somewhere talking about his schooling. The last thing I have here is about fixation with identity. So we're going to see that this happens throughout the entire thing. Okay. So let me go back to here so I can come out of here real quick. Oh, no, I don't know why. There we go. Okay. I'm back. So the fixation equaling identity, this is throughout. So this is, in the last documents and this document, it's all throughout it. So he's obsessed with psychology and criminology, in my opinion, and fantasy doubled as self-image and a mask, okay? So it is my opinion that he used his intellectual ability to mask normalcy and to try to, I mean, I would say have conversation, but according to these people, it was more of like a trap. So I don't know. But I also, some of the things that I wrote down on my notes, like I have notes everywhere, you guys. I take notes. Oh, you can't see. Oh, there you go. Do you guys remember that pen from when we were growing up? Those of you that are in my age group will remember. Do you remember these pens that have like the different colors? My husband found it and was like, oh my gosh. And I got so excited about it. But anyway, that's why I have all the different colors here. But I wrote a ton of notes here that were important to me. And some of them, just so you know, let's see what I wrote here. And this has to do with him being dominant and stuff. So let me go right to here real quick so I could show you guys, because I know for a fact these are correct too. This is 276. This one is not, I did not do with ChatGPT. This one I did on my own. And when I mean did by, I literally mean I will tell ChatGPT what's on my thought process. It'll help me put it on paper, but then a lot of times I'm like, yeah, no, that's not what I was trying to say. So then we have to start over. So it's not until I get to a point where I feel as though the information that I'm looking for is there. And that's when I will, finalize it and work with that. So over here on 276, this one right here, I wrote instruction limited. Oh, here we go. I have page 276. Oh, there we go. I wasn't on the right page. All right, page 276. So this is a big one. So this one right here is someone who says, so if you read this whole thing, I don't know that I'll read the entire thing to you, but if you do read this, I don't know if you guys are interested. Do you guys want me to read this stuff, or do you just want me to go over the notes that I wrote about it and tell you the page number, and then you could read it on your own? I don't know, but you guys let me know. It takes a couple seconds for me to get your answer because there's a delay. So until I get your answers, I will tell you my notes, and then you guys let me know if you want me to read them, read the actual pages, or if you want me to read my notes. We have notes. Perfect. Oh, Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Okay, let's see. Oh, which one? What book? I like books. You'll have to tell me. Someone said whatever you want. You guys are great. Okay, so this is the deal. So whatever is easier for me, Queen. Fancy Nancy. Hi, Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy. I haven't been able to speak to you type thing, but I've been dying to tell you the one day I was doing a live and you were, or I was on a live, I don't remember, one of them, and your name came up and my 22-year-old was like, Fancy Nancy, I love that. So she decided to have a Fancy Nancy party for her 22nd birthday. And I've been dying to tell you this. I don't know why I'm dying to, but I guess because she saw Fancy Nancy and was went with it. But it was crazy. She had lemon, there was alcohol and all. I'm meanwhile, this is ridiculous. It's a kid's thing, not a kid, but the Fancy Nancy theme, but it's got alcohol and stuff. I'm this is real fancy. All right, let's see what we have over here. Okay, so this is what we'll say. So nobody really said exactly what they want. That is cute, right? And she did. We had so many people here. It was crazy. Okay, so I'll give you guys, this is what I'll do. I will put up the actual document that I'm speaking of, and I'll give you my notes. I hope all of you have access to this document. If you don't have access, let me know, and I'll see how we can, I don't know, get you the document somehow. Let me put it bigger so you guys can see it while I speak. There we go. So in this next document, hopefully everybody can see it nice and good. This next document on 276 is about an instructor. So this is one of his instructors. The notes that I have from this is that this instructor said that he would limit women's speech. Okay. Oh, look at this part real quick. I don't know why I just saw marijuana, but it says they discussed the use of alcohol and the effects of marijuana on society. He told her he was not a drinker and he did not understand why people drank. What do you guys think of that? So again, he says to this instructor, and I don't know. So at first I was maybe he just said that because it was an instructor. However, on the other hand, I was my students are old enough to drink. They wouldn't just be like, oh, I don't drink. Like, there would be no need to like lie to me about that. So it's not that he's like 17 or underage. He's clearly of age. So that made me think, like, was that really his thought process? And this is before October. So could it be? You know what I mean? I don't know. An ex-heroin addict says he doesn't understand why people. Oh, Lucy, if I had $1 for every time, I'd be rich. You have no idea when I teach class, and I'll teach it again this semester, and it'll happen again, where I'll have a student who, is in recovery, and they'll be like, well, at least I don't drink, or at least I'm not a drunk like my mom. And I'm like, wait, what? Just so you guys know, whether you're drinking or doing drugs, just like I said earlier, it's that gene that you turn on. And then once the gene's turned on, even when you get into recovery, it never completely goes off. So think of it as that light dimmer, and it's dimmed really low. But whether it's alcohol or Xanax or heroin or whatever the case may be, addiction's addiction, right? So just remember that. Yes, if it alters the mind, exactly. Yes, abusing a substance is abusing a substance, but a lot of people, you'd be so surprised. And some people will do it out of addiction snobbery. That's funny, but you're right though. So there'll be people that'll be like, well, at least I'm not a drunk like my mother. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's happening right now? So just so you guys know that, substance is substance, Okay, next I wrote down that he has an intense stare. So she brings up his intense stare. And then she writes somewhere in here that he's macho, dominant, and disrespectful to female teachers. So if you guys remember about the tally, which I think Daniel went over this last night, the tally, just in case somebody doesn't know the Bryan tally, they started a tally where people started to notice that he was only late when there was a female instructor. So some of the females were like, no, I'm serious. Like, he's really doing this. He doesn't do it for males. So they made a tally, and they did find by the end of the semester that he was never late to any of the male instructors. However, he was often late to the female instructors. So she makes note of that. He wanted to come off as intelligent, and we've heard that before. He keeps talking. Oh, he walks her to her car. So wait, where's that one at? She describes having a conversation with him in her office. She tried to end it, and he would not stop talking. She told him she was leaving because she wanted to avoid getting a parking violation. Just like I said, I want to avoid traffic. She walked out, and he continued to walk with her while she was walking to the car. She did not have a relationship with outside of the school. That was the part I was talking about, where I was like, she made sure she was like, I didn't have a relationship. Because again, if somebody sees him walking her to her car, like, they might think something, right? But again, you guys, just so you know, that is not abnormal. My students walk out with me and talk the entire time often. So to me, that wasn't a red flag. Now, the fact that she wanted to end the conversation and he wasn't getting that cue, that was more of a red flag to me than him continuing to talk and walk to her car. She gets something. Oh, she gets word to be careful because there's a possible issue with him stalking another staff member. That's crazy, you guys. So here we go with allegations of stalking. So he could have been stalking another staff member. My thing is, why are there so many complaints and nobody's doing anything? This is like crazy to me. She shares that the homicides may have been the result of rejection. I can't say that I disagree with this. He's rejected over and over and over, and there are plenty of people that are rejected and they never go on to harm anybody. But in this case, I feel like every time he was rejected, that infuriated him more and more and more. And again, this doesn't make it right. I'm just saying in his head. And I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if rejection has something to do with it. Going down to page 277, this one is from an acquaintance, a 22-year-old white female. She says, wait for this one. He has bloody knuckles just prior to the homicide. Isn't that weird? So he has bloody knuckles just prior to the homicide. So she thinks that apparently he told people that he liked boxing. So she says that she just assumed that it was like a boxing type injury. Says that he argues with another girl in class where the woman left crying. And then I wrote, we know this to be true because in a follow-up conversation corroborates this exact story. So in another, I don't know what page it was when I didn't write it, but there's another page here where that's corroborated. So it comes from the girl who actually is the one that runs away crying. I wrote here, after the homicides, Kohberger stopped bringing cell phone to class and started bringing a laptop. So take note of that. He starts to bring a laptop instead of his cell phone, which they found very odd. Why do you guys think that he would stop taking his cell phone? I wonder what that was about. She also notes a change in his appearance after the homicides. She says that he was weird. He kept the conversation going. So that's the same thing that was said in the one before. He blocks her physically from leaving the room. We've heard that before. Book 3 of 4. This is the one where she talks about the book. Where is it at? Here we go. During the semester, students were required to read 4 books. The third book they were required to read was a book about DNA evidence. She recalled BK being heavily involved in the discussions about the book in class. So that was a big one. Here's the other one I was telling you about. He was at a department bar outing, which is another weird thing. I've been a part of multiple psychology departments. I thought I'd been teaching for 20 years. It's been almost 22 years. I'm old. I can't remember ever going to the bar with my department. Hence, I still have never been drunk. So I don't know. Maybe that's a me thing, but I don't remember anybody making, like they have a lot of outings here, which I think might be a good thing because you do want the cohort to all get along and know each other, but there's a lot of outings for this cohort. This one says, ready for this? He purchases a bottle of wine and drank the entire bottle. So that was the part that I thought was, this was in October, I believe it was. So, does that mean he then falls off of the wagon then? I'm not sure. She was not aware of other people requesting escorts out of the building because they feared him. So here, you can't put any blame on this person. First of all, they're an acquaintance or a 22-year-old female. But second, because she doesn't even know that there's other people that have the exact same complaints as her. The next one I have is on 11/18/22. What page is this? It says suspect 1. Maybe it's the next page because I didn't write it. Let's see. Yes, suspect 1. So over here we have a white male who's 33 years old. After interviewing, police feel he was concerned about the homicides and wished he had known more info. They don't think that he is a suspect. They only looked at him because he had behavioral issues before and they wanted to rule him out. I then go on to say that on 11/18/22, they have suspect 2. Let's see, where was that at? Oh, they call it suspect 1. 26-year-old, white male, relationship. So it says acquaintance and says redacted girlfriend. So that's over here somewhere. Oh, girlfriend. Here we go. Relationships. And then it has girlfriend. What do you guys think this one is? And it says he verbally threatened a female University of Idaho students outside on the sidewalk. He was at a bar with his girlfriend. The cop drove them home, which I've noticed from this, you guys, the cops are really cool here. Daniel, I don't know if you're still here, but were you guys that cool as a department? They were like drinking and they drank too much and the cop offered to drive them home. In Philly, you would never, you see the cop and you run, let alone ask them to drive you home. I think it's great. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's great that they have such a great relationship with the cops. It says that the cop takes them home around 13 to 1400 hours, took off his sweatshirt. Oh, this person takes his sweatshirt off to show the cop his arms, his neck, his chest, and his face to show that he has absolutely no cuts. I also noticed a lot of these that I'm talking about here were all done by the same officer. So Detective Leslie Lehman. So all of these notes that I'm reading right here, so not the ones with the fantasy, but these notes are mostly all, if not all, from Leslie. Then we have, the next thing was 283. I'm almost done. On 283, we have, okay, so this one here, I have swabs from male that was born in 1983. And then on 1127, suspect 3. Let's see, where's the suspect 3? This says witness. I don't know. It's 287, duh. So 2 more down. Okay, here we go. So we have another suspect here, 76-year-old. So this was my other question. Remember when they were talking about possible, the 4 possible suspects? Could these be the 4 possible suspects? So I just read off 2. This is the 3rd one. And then, the 4th one, they don't really go into, but could this be what she was talking about, where we were under, or at least I was under the assumption that she meant like Jack Showalter and stuff like that. So I'm curious as to what you guys think. But over here, we have a 76-year-old male, white male, sent incoherent, lengthy text. He was in the proximity. He admitted to writing the letter. What they found with this guy was, when they did further looking into him, is that they believed that he was having delusions from mental illness, and that it wasn't the only place that he sent these incoherent letters to, that he often sent them to government agencies. So they were then able to rule him out as well. All right, let's see. What do I have left? I have 292, 295. Let's see. So let's do 292. We're almost done. All right. On 292, we have, all right. So this says triage interview notes. So this over here, they had the detective Joe Lake perform a bunch of telephone interviews, and at the end of them, he just writes what the notes are. Out of the notes, the thing that I found interesting was, Kaylee making $27 an hour was amazing. It was the best thing I heard all night. In December of 2022, there was a violent male who objectifies women, graduate and lived in Tacoma, Washington, and friends of the girls. So I don't know who this person was, this 27-year-old that they're talking about, but it's almost as if they're trying, they're listening to what other people are saying. And at this point, we know that these are all tips. And if you guys remember, there was like a flood of tips because everybody wanted to know who this was, and they wanted to make sure that they caught whoever it was. So people were just calling saying, I think it's this person, that person. But that none of these notes really lead to anything. On 295, we have classmates of Bryan, just so you guys know. These are all witnesses, okay? And these are all people that went to school with him. This one says that she invited the whole cohort to her apartment during the 2nd or 3rd week of school, said it was the University of Iowa versus Iowa State game. BK attended the event, but was about 2.5 hours late. About a week after the event, he began to tell others that blank takes blank for blank. So I read this as, for example, Jamie takes Adderall for ADHD. Like, I don't know if anybody reads this any different. And again, I'm saying like insert whatever the thing is here, but I 100% think that this is what this is. So it says, suspect said that BK may have looked in her bathroom cabinet and observed her prescriptions because she does not openly share with others about her blank. So her ADHD or her anxiety or whatever it was. That right there, you guys, is enough to have him like thrown out. I don't know not only why he was still a TA, and you have to remember there's a bunch of undergraduates that he's exposed to. So not only do I think it's crazy that they let him be exposed to these younger kids still, but the fact that he was even in the program still, it just blows me out of the water. I can't even explain it. On page, so then I don't have anything until page 532. And you guys, I read these many times. It doesn't mean that there's nothing on the other ones. It's just these were the things that when I was looking for themes that I found most of my evidence, if you will. So in 532, I have What does that say? Oh, narrative of the crime. And oh, they do timed runs. That's what I have here. So they go through and they have one of the officers run and try to, so it says here, Detective Talbot counted. All right. So during the first trial run, so they did trial runs near the residence and came through the sliding glass door. I then quickly moved through the kitchen and up the stairs. I looked into the bedroom to the left and then moved down the hallway into Mogan's bedroom. I simulated the number of strikes that were inflicted upon Mogan and Gonzalez. Detective Talbot counted and kept track in an attempt to recreate the movements and motions believed to have occurred based on the evidence collected in autopsy reports. I moved out of the bedroom, down the stairs, through the living room, down the hallway, and into Connerto's bedroom. Again, the assistance of the detective helped him stimulate the number of strikes that were inflicted upon Xana and Ethan. I then exited back down the hallway, through the living room, through the kitchen, and out the sliding glass door. Payne reported the time of approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds on the quickest possible timed run. So think about that. Everybody's like, oh, how could he do this in 15 minutes? Da, 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 da. Now, nobody thinks that he did it in 1 minute and 30 seconds, but they're saying that it was physically possible to. It says on the second run, they did a slower and more deliberate run where I followed the same path through the residence, but at a much slower methodical pace. I again entered through the rear sliding glass door, opening it slowly to make no noises. I looked into the first bedroom and then slowly moved down the hallway into Mogan's bedroom. Detective Talbot counted and kept track again as I recreated the movements and motions believed to have occurred inside the bedroom. I exited the bedroom, moved back down the stairs, through the living room, down the hallway, and into Connerto's bedroom. The movement of Connerto's bedroom was slower than the first run, but still somewhat quick. I again simulated the movements and motions that took place in her bedroom. I then exited back down the hallway, through the living room, through the kitchen, and out the sliding glass door. Payne recorded this as approximately 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Think about that. It probably took me longer to read the past page and a half. So 2 minutes and 33 seconds. And then it says, we additionally walked through the simulated paths that he may have possibly taken from the vehicle to the back of the residence. The shortest and most direct path going from the parking area and moving east to west along the back of the house took approximately 30 seconds. A second path starting at the southern edge of the property and walking a fence line through some of the trees and moving in a south to north direction towards the back of the house took approximately 1 minute. The times to make the same two paths at a running pace were approximately 6 to 7 seconds for the short path and 10 to 12 seconds for the longer path. In all, the time runs reveal that it is possible for BK to have carried out the crime in as few as 2 minutes and 6 seconds, okay, going at a fast pace on the shortest route to the vehicle, or as much as 3 minutes and 45 seconds going at a slower pace on the longer route to the vehicle. This concluded the simulated times through the residence. You guys, that's huge. So I'm assuming that Daniel will probably go over that one more in detail, but that one's huge because it's showing that all of these people that were like, he couldn't have done it in this amount of time, like their longest time was 3.5 minutes. That's nothing. And we know that, you know, we see him with the car and stuff that he was in there even longer than that. So it is obviously possible. We know that it is. But for other people listening that don't realize it, it is 100% possible to do this all by yourself. The very last thing I have is on page 523. I don't know why I went backwards. Maybe I wrote it earlier and just didn't say it. This one says, sucks for you. Didn't know what you were doing, said BK. Wait, what? So let's see why I wrote that. It says on March 2nd, 2023, they spoke with somebody else referencing about the TA in her class. So this must have been a student, okay? It says that BK was only in class every few weeks and sometimes only for half of the class. He never seemed to talk or communicate with any of the students in class. I thought that was weird because he's a TA. He would sit in the back of the class near where she would sit. Creepy. He always seemed to be staring at her when she would look up. He graded harshly and gave her a C in the class. This, you guys, are you listening for this one? She stated, I don't get C's. Later, her professor, so-and-so, changed her C into an A, agreeing with her that he had graded her unfairly. Before talking with her professor, she emailed BK concerning her grade. She stated that his comment was, and I quote, "Sucks for you. You didn't know what you were doing." Imagine that. Sucks for you. You didn't know what you were doing. That's ridiculous. So she felt at times BK would intentionally leave the class at the same time and follow her out to her car. On March 3rd, 2023, this person shared screenshots of emails between her and BK. I transferred the screenshots, it says. So they were my big takeaways here. I did notice, you guys, just real quick before I go back, and I have to go way back and chat and stuff. But I don't know if you guys know this, but there were a couple more crime scene photos. And I'm sure somebody will go over them at some point. Let me just see if I see it real quick here. Oh, yeah. Oh, this right here is somebody that they, oh, this is sad. I think this is the guy that, and that's his face. They don't show that. But I believe that this was somebody that they were looking at as a possible suspect, but I could be wrong. But somebody that they think is a suspect at one point passes away in the hospital. But I don't know if it's this one, so maybe I'll take that back. But that was one of the pictures. And the other one, I don't know if it was before it or after it. I want to say it was after it. Let me just see if I see it real quick. But it gave more crime scene photos. And I believe they were like photos of Dylan's bedroom. Oh, what's this? Here we have a picture of, let me zoom out a little. Oh, did you guys hear about this? This is so weird. On 361, what do I have it upside down? Let me just see if I have it upside down. No, I don't. 361, you guys, and it has it. There was another page. Here it goes. Do you guys see this? It's like a bloody car. Apparently, somebody sold their car, and this is how they sold it. So somebody must have called it into the tip line, and the officers had to go out and see, and they were able to rule it out. The other one real quick was over here. These were the only other ones that I saw. Pictures. This is on 375. And this shows, let me zoom out a little bit. This shows the steps. So let me turn it around so we can see it better. Not upside down. Here we go. Okay, so this right here is showing the steps. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm assuming that these are the steps going from the basement, not the basement, that from the front door up to the living room. So they took pictures of this, and this might be where they found blood on the banister. They have the evidence photo number 1 here. Over here, you guys, does anybody know, is this like what I think it is, or is this, I don't know if I'm having a straight A stupid moment, but I was like, is that blood? I don't know. Why is it blue? But then I'm like, it could be like some form of, not luminol, but like something that they put in it. I don't know. What I did find in these is that there was a backpack that they were, talking about. I also noticed that it said that of all of the rooms that Dylan had the least amount of like alcohol and stuff in her room, and that she had mostly books and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. Again, somebody please tell me what this is over here and if that's blood. And then this, I believe, is Dylan's room. And they were saying, again, if you read the notes, that, you're not going to see much of anything here because this is, I believe, Dylan's room. And they're just showing you what she had up close. And if you look in one of the documents following this, they go on to say that 2 of the officers, that one of them took these pictures while the other one packed some of the stuff up so that they could give it back to the families. This was where we saw them putting everything into the trucks. Do you guys remember the pickup truck? Not the pickup trucks. That was the mattresses. Like the U-Haul. When they were putting stuff in the U-Haul, that's where this is from. I don't know. Why do they have an evidence marker here? I wonder. And then they have another one over here. But when I blew it up, I didn't really see anything. There looks like something there, but then it looks like it belongs to whatever that is. And then over here, I believe that these might be Xana's because it said that they weren't able to give back. And look, you see the Doc Martens over here. I think this is Xana's room. So they said that they were able to give back the stuff in Xana's closet and that they took stuff. Oh, maybe this is Xana. Is this Xana's, you guys, or no? What do you guys think? Whose room do you think this is? I want to say that this room is Dylan's. But I do think that this room right here is Xana's because they talk about how, oh yeah, and look, We have something dark over here, which tells me that they're redacting like blood or something. Okay. So, and this looks like that Taco Bell bag. So I believe that is Anna's room. Look at me now in my fast food bag. Over here, they show you the hard liquor, the hard seltzer. Look, I can't even say it right because I don't drink. And then the wine, the box of wine. Everybody's got to have himself a box of wine. And then that was it for the photos. So let me go back to here and end that. So does anybody have any questions about any of this? I can't believe how many of you are still here. Harlot. Hi, Harlot. Let's see what we have. All right, let me take this off and get rid of that. Here I go. I'm back. Okay, you guys. So it feels like we've been on here longer than 2 hours, but hi, Dana. White clams. That's funny. I couldn't even get it right. I'm like, seltzer. Look at me when I'm talking. Sarah, stop it. That's mean. I told Sarah a funny story. I can't even repeat it here because we still all know the people. All right, let's see. Who else is here? Look at all the people here, you guys. There's so many people here. I'm so appreciative. Hi, Rachel. Hi, SC. Hi, Karina. Oh, it's Amino Black. See, I wasn't wrong. Oh, luminol. Thank you, you guys. That's what I thought too. Wait a minute. So does that mean if that's luminol and it's showing, right? It only shows if there's blood. And someone here said that that's blood with luminol spray maybe. And that's what I think it is. So, and Lucy says it too. So you guys, does that mean that that wasn't like visible to the naked eye at first? And if so, that was a lot of blood. Like I'll go back to it real quick because that's like a lot of blood, no? Now that you guys say that, I'm like, oh, well, let's look at it again real quick. I just want to say. So it was back a couple. It was right here. So it was a page in this page. So let me make it bigger. So all of this right here, was it that wasn't there the first time? I mean, look at that. That's horrible, you guys. Is that from like cast off and stuff? That's horrible. I don't know. What is your, thoughts about this? Somebody noticed a weed pipe in the back. That's funny. It's blood. So, okay, Sarah, it's blood, but was it blood that wasn't there before they put it there? Not that it wasn't there, but it wasn't like naked to the visible eyes. Like, in other words, well, no, because wouldn't you see it smeared if somebody tried to wipe it off? It's so sad. Okay, I think only the darker spots are the red stuff and the rest are drips from the spray. Oh, you're so smart. You're probably so right. So over here, they look more like, I see what you're saying. And this would be oh, I see. And okay, so if that's the case, I wonder what it looks like at the top of that. Like, does it look like somebody tried to wipe something? I don't know. Hi, Patty. Patty says, I think he lasted that long because of the woke culture we have. No people are afraid of hurting their feelings. Oh, they aren't anymore. That makes sense. I'm sure you saw the rolled up dollar bill. So Georgie, with the rolled up dollar bill, from what I was able to find out about that, although, and I'm not making excuses either way, I believe that she was prescribed the medication that she might have used that bill for. You know what I mean? So does that make it better? Not necessarily, because we all know that you could be prescribed something. Could she have been, using it the wrong way sometimes? Sure. Oh my gosh, we have a new member. Welcome, Kelly. Thank you so much, Kelly. You guys, I can't even. Thank you. That's the south wall that looks out into Queen Road, isn't it? I'm actually not sure. Does anybody know the answer to that? I'm not sure. But you guys, as much as I want to stay here all night, I'm teaching 10 classes a semester, and I only have like 5 of my Canvas shells ready. I don't know. Do you guys have Canvas wherever you live? We use Canvas. Harlot, do you have Canvas where you live, or Lucy or someone? We use Canvas here. And I just got a new college, they called me. I didn't apply to them. They called me and asked me if I could teach. Oh, Lucy says Canvas. It's a learning management system. So all of your like assignments, your tests, everything would be on there. Sarah paints on a canvas. You guys, we're all like showing our ages here. That is so funny. We're all like a canvas. That's what you paint on. The kids are like, canvas, yes. See, my daughter uses Canvas for law school. Fancy Nancy. Look at you. Good for you, girl. My son's school uses it. See, there we go. So Karina knows what it is. But you guys, you see the core shells like that your son uses and stuff. I don't know how. I would think more the one that's in law school with the college. There is so much material packed in each one of those core shells, and not all places, but some places you make your own core shell. And it just so happens to be that all 10 courses I'm making, I have to create. So I still have 5 courses to create. I think I'm older than you and you two bad actors. Lucy, I don't know. Are you? I'm 47. I'm not shy about my age. That's Thor, you guys. Thor can't get through live without barking and saying hi. College girls will be college girls. I've thought about him coming upon after the night she had. And then 65. You're 65 years young, girl. We're all old. It's actually funny you say that because when I look at, Harlot, I don't know why, but I feel like in my head, I have you as like 20 years old. And yes, Thor loves you guys. I have a total thing in my head. Oh, look, a squirrel, you're here. Hi. Oh, look, a squirrel. You are just barely older than me, Lucy. Oh, really? So when I look at my analytics, Harlot, no, you're not 45. Harlot, I see you as like my little, like not my little, but my 22-year-old daughter. Patty, 66. Hi, Patty. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Rye. Here goes Thor, you guys. Thor, come here. Thor, come say hi. He's like, all right, you've been on for 2 hours, Mom. Get off. Who looks very young? Oh, Harlot looks really young. Jamie. Yes, that's my name, Sarah. Did you guys know that's my name? Sometimes people will be like, what's your name? And I'm like, what? It's Jamie. Like, what did you think it was? Hi, Patty. Oh, I look young. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know if I feel it, but I'll take it. And I have like no makeup on or anything. That's not you in the picture. It's actually a doll. Well, just so you know, it's so funny, you guys. When you guys make your profile pictures, you have to remember that if somebody doesn't know you, that's who they wind up thinking that you are. Let me be honest with you. I don't know if Mark the Shark's still on here, but I thought Mark the Shark was like a 17-year-old boy. I don't know why. Oh, you like my bangs? Thank you. But anyway, I thought Mark the Shark was like 17. And I had no idea he was like a whole man with like a kid that's like old. I had no idea. I was like, Mark, who knew? But again, I think it's because he has the shark as his default picture that I just assumed he's got to be young. Somebody said, wait, who just said that? Stop it right now. Lucy said, I thought Dr. Vona was late 30s. Girl, thanks. I've been teaching for 22 years. I was a professor pretty young, though. I was a professor by 25. Oh, what kind of dog is he? He is the love of my life, Thor Vona, and he is a Mastiff. And Ellie, come here, Ellie girl. Ellie gets so mad because I don't talk about Ellie. And it's funny because some of you know that Ellie's in the back. And come here, Elle. They want to say hi to you too. Thor's like, no, you're not allowed near my mom. Thor's like circling me. But Ellie will come over soon. Ellie like needs attention. She's definitely the girl of the house. But Ellie is a Beagle mix and Thor is a Mastiff. And I picked Thor out. And the only thing I didn't want was a big dog. I did not know dogs like that. My husband did. My husband did not want a little dog, but I wanted a little dog. So when we went to go rescue the dog and I saw Thor, He was so little. And I was like, oh my God, Rye, I found this dog. I was like, I know you don't want a little dog. I was like, but I'm in love with him. I'm like, we made eye contact. I was like, he's literally like my spirit. Like I was like, we're supposed to be with each other. So he's like, oh my gosh, let me go see this dog. So he comes in with like an open mind. And I should have known when he was like done that Thor was going to be humongous. His paws were like the size of I was like, I thought he was little. He was only like a couple months old. I didn't realize that he was such a big dog. But it's funny because now that he's big, he's literally bigger than me. But like we spoon and stuff, not like gross, but you know what I mean. But he's like big enough. He loves to cuddle. He'll like cuddle. He huff and snuff. He goes, and then I do it back to him. Look, he just looked at me as soon as I did it. Like, you ready to do that, Mom? Let's go. Marilyn, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Marilyn. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah, what did you write? That is the wall that was bleeding outside. Was it? You guys, if that was the wall going outside and we only saw the very bottom of the wall, oh, that's terrible. Mark does sound very young, but just know that Mark's a whole man. Wait, what does this one say? It somewhat resembles me if I was a little older, but I feel like it definitely captures my essence. I love that. And then we have, Sarah, what do you need help for? Read the oh, what did I say? That is, well, what didn't I read, Sarah? She's saying, help me, help. What's happening, Sarah? I think Sarah is trying to get your attention, you think? Answer the question, for the love of God. What was the question? Sarah, you help me. What's the question? It's right beside her effing face. Sarah, don't be mean to me. Let me see. Did I miss something? Is it the one about it being on the wall? I thought I answered that. Oh, Dana says, I don't think it was. I think that was on the stairs or in the living room. She thinks the black couch can be seen. Oh, wait, we have to go look now. Let's look and see if we see the black couch. Here we go. Okay. Oh, right here. Okay. Does anybody know what room this is? So there's the floor. Oh, I see what you're saying. And look at the wood on the floor here, and it does resemble over here. Like, maybe. What the hell could that be from? What do you guys think? Where is that from? What room? Great call, Dana. Good looking out. You two bad actors. That's definitely Ethan's blood outside. Oh. That's so sad, you guys. Isn't that the window and the side of the corner shelving in the living room? I don't know. What did you guys think? Did you think it was the living room? The corner shelving. No, that's a window. There's a window, and there's alcohol in the background. And when I was reading the documents, it did say that there was like alcohol inside of the bedrooms. So then we have Sarah, what did you say that I didn't see yet? It was Ethan's blood outside. Sarah, did I answer your question yet? No, it doesn't, Lucy. I didn't see it at least. Lucy, I'm going to look it up. Lucy says, doesn't it say in the document? Let me see if I go a little bit down. Hold on, Allie girl. Allie's like, please let me out. Oh, wait, maybe it does here. Let me see. It says, It doesn't really say here, I don't think. Oh, wait, what's this? This is a visa for $52.85. Does it say what it's for? You guys, hold on 1 second. The dogs need me to let them out. Hold on. Oh, I just like stuck to my couch. Hold on, doggies. Okay, that'll keep them busy for a minute. I'm back. I just stood up. You guys got to see how short I am. How tall are you guys? Mark the shark. We were just talking about you. Mark, did you change your shark picture? Let me see. What else do we have here while I'm waiting for that? Hi, Truth. Truth is still here. Okay, let's see. The blood is Ethan's. I see that from Sarah. Sarah, now I'm afraid you're like going to come get me and like smack me or something. What was the question that I didn't answer? Is she wearing pants? No, I'm wearing shorts, you guys. What do you mean? I have shorts on, not pants. It's the summer. No pants. They're just my tan legs. Oh, Karina's 4'11". Me too. Sarah's 5'8". Truth, how tall are you? Hi, everyone. I was, when folks came in, hello, everyone. Yeah, you guys, I can't believe how many people joined tonight. I am so appreciative. My dogs are people too. I'm 5'11", and my dogs are tall blondes too. Oh, I love that. That sounds like fantasy. What, Sarah? I'm afraid. Oh, you two bad actors is 5'8". Everybody's taller than us. Who was short like me? It was Karina. Karina, everybody's shorter than us. I mean, taller than us. I said shorter than us. 5'2.5", Fancy Nancy. 5 feet even. Truth, you're 5 feet even? I thought you were taller than that. I love that you're only 5 foot. Oh, Truth. I could like look you in the eye. That's funny. Sarah, 6'5". You're funny. And then we have Harlot's 5 foot. Oh, look at Squirrel's 5'2" over there. Patty's 5'2". Oh, we're all a bunch of little shorties over here, aren't we? Sarah, you look like you're the tall one. And you two bad actors, you two are tall. Everybody else here, we're all little like short peoples. And there's nothing wrong with being a short person. Good things come in small packages. Yeah, I can't, Truth, I don't know why. Again, I think we like make things up in our head. And Truth, you were taller than that in my head. And we've been friends for a minute. Mark, how tall are you? I mean, not that it matters. I'm just curious. Sarah. Sarah's got the longest fingers in the world, you guys. I tease her and like she'll put her hand up and I'll be like, oh. So I think she means her fingers are 6.5 inches long. That's how much I start to know you guys by this point. I already know what a lot of you are like saying, even in like your jokes, because I pay attention. Makes me think of Randy Newman's song, Short People. I love short people. You should see my toes. Why? What's up with your toes, Rachel? Are they like long? Do you have tingers? I'm a size 12 shoe. So how tall are you, Rachel? Did I miss it? Rachel is 5'7". Nice. You're really tall to me. Oh, okay. I did. Not butch. I thought, wait, what do they call it? Mask? I'm trying to get my lesbian terms right. I think they call it mask. I thought you were mask. Like a masculine chick. I don't know. Your truth exposed with the thing with the giving the finger. Again, we make things up in our heads, right? And I made up in my head that this meant that you were, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that, but it was so funny, you guys, because I was like, I need a picture now so that I don't have it in my head that I sent her a picture of what I thought she looked like. And she literally like didn't know whether to cry or laugh because it was like the opposite. Truth is gorgeous. And so is Sarah. You are both beautiful ladies. I think you're the only two that I've ever seen. Oh, and Mark. Mark's very handsome. And he's not 18. I couldn't believe it. Dana, did we say how tall you were? Oh, yeah, Dana, I think you did. I think you were 5. Oh, Dana, what did you say you were? Did you say how tall you were? Oh, 5'11". Dana. You guys, Dana is the champion over here, Dana. Are you doing modeling? Look at you. This is cracking you up. So anybody here that isn't like was here for the BK stuff, at this point, I think I'm done with all of the stuff that I gave. I'm just being honest. So let me just say goodbye to those people first. So if you're here for that and you're leaving and you're just trying to hang on because I'm still talking, please feel free.
to go now. I feel bad. But if you're still here just to talk, I'll talk for another minute. Why not? Whoa, laugh out loud. Oh my God, stop. Oh my God, Truth, you're too funny. Let's see, who else do we have here? So anything else going on with you guys? Are you guys going back to school or anything or work? Did you, Truth? You're going to have to tell me about that later. I can carry you all across the river if the water's too high. Dana, that's funny. Dana, if you need anything in like a little space, I could get that for you. Mark, what about when I thought you were like 18 and like a kid? I was like, oh, wow. Mark's like a whole man. That's what I call him outside of here. It's a whole man. I'll be like, Mark, you're a whole man. So any questions that you guys have for me? Usually I only answer like not only, but it only usually comes up in like members only lives. But if anybody has any questions, I'm a pretty open book. Oh, wait, why you think of your questions? I almost gave you a boob shot. Where's Sarah? You got your doggies. Okay. I'm done letting them in. I'm back. All right, what do we have here? My 3-year-old son is trying to truck me in. Oh, tuck you in. Oh my God, stop it. Her 3-year-old's trying to tuck her in. How cute. Oh, look, Allie's like, I'll come say hi now. Come here, Allie girl. Allie, how can they say you? Here, let's look at Allie. That's Allie girl. Allie girl. Allie, look, say hi. Say hi to everybody. They want to say hi to you. This is Allie. And Thor's like, why aren't you petting me? And this is Thor. See, my 2 doggers. They're really good doggies. I love that your 3-year-old's trying to tuck you in. And then we have, that cracked me up. I'll get stuff off the top shelf. You don't need to grab the stepladder. I have to grab the stepladder if like I have to change those clocks up there, even though you don't change them, they're set on a time. It says in these moments, time stood still. And if you look, my daughter was born first. Then I got married. Yeah, right here. And then Ava was born, my youngest daughter. So it's literally in order. And Ava, when she was younger, like when she was 3 and stuff, she would get so mad at us and be like, it's not fair. Gianna was at your wedding and I wasn't. And I'm always like, bitch, neither one of you were supposed to be there. She wasn't there on purpose. Duh. She gets it now. All right, what else do we have here? I call her Scooby-Doo too because her going through the PCA was equivalent of Scooby-Doo turning a circle. You're funny. I have to use a step stool to reach my laundry cabinets because the builder hung them so high. That would be my problem, Fancy Nancy. Everything would be too high for me. So I have step stools everywhere in this house. And my daughter Gianna's 4. She's even shorter than me. She's 4'8". And Ava is like, I don't know how tall Ava is. She's about 5'3" or 5'4". Yeah, about 5'3", 5'4". Me and Gianna are really short though. Did anyone see Carol Lieberman's new video on Forbes where she claims Olivia ended her statement with Kaylee would have you what? No, I didn't see that. No. Mark said I'm definitely not a kid. Oh, we know, Mark. You're a whole ass man. Dana, the last time I was 5 foot tall, I was in 5th grade. I say that when we're talking about weight. I'm like, oh, the last time I was 100 pounds, I was like 3'2". So that's funny. Come tuck me in. That's so cute. I've been laughing about it for days. Howdy. Howdy. Oh, boobs. There we go. Now I know I'm up to this. I can't believe you think Thor is so big. Oh my gosh. To me, Thor is so big. Hi, Thor boy. You are so big. Thor, can you huff and snuff? Oh, look. Now he wants to. See, look at how big his paws are. They're big to me. Do you have a bigger dog? Thor's like, pay attention to me. Do you guys have a bigger dog? What kind of dogs do you have? And what are their names? Anyone? I know that Truth's dog Rue talks. Like he literally talks. She'll send me like a voice memo and it's of her dog Rue just talking, and they'll have a conversation and she'll be like, then what happened, Rue? And the dog just keeps talking and talking. It's the funniest thing. Mark, I'm trying to behave. Oh my God, stop. You guys are funny. Bar tall people, step stools everywhere. Marilyn, I'm so into the tarot card thing, and I don't know why I've never asked you this before. I have tarot cards, and I was trying to like learn them, and I'm pretty good at learning things. But I don't know about this one. I think I need some help. I'm not sure. Maybe I should just stay in my lane. Probably. But I do learn how to do things. I needed steps at my Philly house, and the steps like caved in. There was a hole this big in the middle of the concrete steps. And the cheapest thing we got, like the cheapest estimate was for $14,000. That was the cheapest one. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. Not happening. So my husband's like, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm going to learn how to do it. And I'm just going to do it. And he's like, Jane, you just got your doctorate in like education, not in how to do concrete. And I was like, I'm Italian. We love concrete. I'll figure it out. So I went on YouTube. I found Mason Mike. He's from Pennsylvania. I even made sure I found an old man from Pennsylvania because I knew just from what I was reading that it has to be certain degrees and stuff. And there's different things used for different stuff. You guys, I did my steps. Truth, you know about my steps. Truth has been around so long that Truth knows about my steps. I would call crying and I'd be like, I have to do it. But I learned how to do everything. I could do steps. I'm good at it. Anybody needs some cement steps, just give me a call. I can carry you across one street. That's funny. Oh yeah, we have a Discord for anybody that is a member. So I will put the link again in the members only post so that you have it. If you're a member, we do have a Discord and it's run by Mark. This is like my third time with Discord trying. So we'll see how long we have it. This might be, I don't know. Is this longer than the other one? Oh, look, a squirrel. I'm not sure. But Mark started it and we're going to see what happens. And I told Mark, I'm like, this is all you, Mark. Because I don't know. Me and Discord, I don't know. Silver lab named Bailey. Oh, I love that. Come to my world. 120 is average. Oh, 120, girl. If you're talking about weight, you're like thin, slim, for sure. What else do we have? I have two great, what is that? Pyrenees. 100 pounds and 165 pounds. That's bigger than me. Okay, maybe Thor isn't that big. You have a dog that's 165 pounds? How much food does that dog eat? Jeez. I wouldn't want to be the one that has to clean up after him. 165 pounds? Isn't that big, you guys? Or am I just crazy? Wow. Thor is so cute. My dogs are small. So I had a Yorkie. So a Morkie. What's a Morkie? I'm assuming that's a Yorkie mixed with a Maltese. That's my guess. But I had a miniature Yorkshire Terrier growing up. And I didn't realize how much of a bitch it was until I got Thor. I was like, oh, that little dog used to like snap at me and like bite my ankles and bark, bark, bark. But I always thought like he was cute because he was little. Yeah, no thanks. I have Thor. Amazing. I call him handsome. My handsome man. Pimp Shoes, that's Sarah's name. You guys, Sarah. Oh my God. What do you think I am, Mark? Mark wants to know what sign I am. Can anybody guess? She goes, Chat GPT, tarot. Guess what? I never even thought of that. I would be a good tarot card reader. I tried it. I gave my sister a reading. Marilyn, you teach on your channel. You guys, Marilyn has a channel. Marilyn from Tarot Clarity has a channel. And Marilyn, I have watched some of your videos. And that's why I'm saying to you, I'm like, I don't know why I haven't said this to you before. I'm trying to like learn that way. And I'm like, I don't know that I'm doing such a good job. Maybe Marilyn will let me like read her cards one day and be like, bitch, you are way off. I don't know. Or maybe you'll be like, that was good. I don't know. But maybe we can work something out. And then Lucy says, I tried to learn tarot too.
And it's way more, it is more complicated than I thought. I just abandoned it. Maybe we should have a tarot channel or like once a month tarot club, and we can figure out how to read together. We can make it into whatever we want it to be. We'll be like, yes, that's going to happen. I'm just kidding. But Marilyn has a fabulous channel. She does teach, and she's very good at it too. Yes, she does have a tarot channel. She's really good, you guys. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, Fancy Nancy's Italian. Me too. I don't know if you guys were here, but I got my 23andMe done, and we guessed the other day what my 23andMe said as far as my ethnicity. I was told I was 100% Italian. I don't care. I'm just saying. And I'm 92%. And the other 8% is African. Who knew? Except for I went to go talk to my aunt because my grandmom's gone. She lived to like 100, but my aunt lived to like 106. So I went to talk to her because I wanted her to do the 23andMe because I'm like, where'd that come from? Like, So I'm like, it has to be Aunt Sadie. So I went to Aunt Sadie and we got her to like do the little 23andMe thing. But when it came back and I was like, Aunt Sadie, did you know you were 30% African? She was like, yeah. How the hell did you think my kid had sickle cell anemia? I was like, was somebody going to tell me? No, you weren't going to tell me. Okay. Okay, I see. I get it. I've been reading for 50 years this summer. Wow, Marilyn, that's amazing. Marilyn, did you do any on this case specifically? I feel like you did. Or did you just, I watch your channel. There's another person that I watched before you came to our channel. So I'm not knowing if I'm misremembering about this case, the right person or not, but you'll have to let us know. Oh, Mark thinks I'm definitely a Leo. A Leo? You guys think I'm a Leo? Why do you think I'm a Leo? Anybody else want to guess before I tell you? Because I'm not a Leo. Oh, that makes sense. Sicilians always, yes, you're right. I am Sicilian. My soul is Italian. I love that. Love it. Your DNA even you're funny, betrays you. I'm British. Oh, we have a British. No way. So Lucy, when my kids were little, especially Ava, the 17-year-old, I don't know if you know Peppa Pig. I'm sure you do. Everybody kind of does, right? It's like one of those little shows. Well, all the kids in the not all, but a lot of the kids in the United States started to speak with a British accent because of Peppa Pig. And my daughter Ava was like little at that age and she loved Peppa Pig. And she does the best British accent. It's hysterical. And she does it to me all the time. And I just laugh. So when you just said that, I thought of Ava calling me mommy. But the way she says it's so funny. She doesn't call me mother, though, just so you guys know. Does anybody here call their parents mother, father? And I'm not making fun. I'm genuinely asking because I am nobody to even really make fun. And I don't know if this is an Italian thing. So you're closer. No, you're not closer with Sagittarius or Aries. You guys, are you kidding? What do we have here? Nobody. Who's going to guess me right? We have a lot of Leos here. Taurus, not a Taurus. Oh, we got a winner. And where have you been this whole time, Sharon? So Fancy Nancy says Taurus or Cancer. And then who was it that got it right? Charmin, you got it right. I'm a Cancer. My birthday's June 27th. My husband's a Cancer. He's July 12th. My daughter Gianna's a Cancer. Her birthday's July 19th. And then Ava is an Aquarius. I'm like, that poor kid. But even Thor's a Cancer. The whole house, we're like, I don't know what Ellie is. That's so mean. I'm sorry, Ellie. Oh no, Ellie's maybe Sagittarius. Oh, hell no. I say mom and dad. That's funny. So I say mom and dad too, right? Everybody's saying hell no. I'm not Amish. Oh, Sarah thinks I'm Amish because I live in PA. Either Cancer or the one that comes after it. Yeah, you were right, Harlot. I'm a Cancer. Truth knows I'm a Cancer. Truth, if you didn't know I was a Cancer, I'd punch you. Let's see. I wouldn't really punch you. I couldn't hurt a fly. As a matter of fact, not only could I not hurt a fly, but there was a fly in my room down the shore, and my mom wants to kill me because I didn't want to kill it and nobody would come in and help me. So instead of killing the fly, I used my handy dandy brand new pen and I poked a hole in the bottom of the screen, like the outside screen, but it wasn't flying to the screen. And I'm like, if you're going to get me in trouble because I just busted the screen and not my house, you're going to fly out the window. How about that one? So I was like, why isn't this bug flying out the window? So I wound up getting my cell phone and I turned on the light and I had it like upside down pointing to the thing and he got out. I was like, boom, that was worth it. It was worth the whole, worth getting in trouble for. Not in trouble, but you guys know what I mean. My mom was like, Jamie, what the frig? What's the matter with you? She was like, what the frig, Jamie? What's the matter? What are you doing? She's like, I'd make fun of her. I have another YouTube channel, South Philly Mayor. I haven't done it in a while, but it's literally like a parody of my family. So a lot of people say mom and dad. Me, my husband, and one son are all Virgos and the other is an Aquarius. See, isn't it funny when there's like 3 of one and then 1 of the other? Sarah pays her child support. Sarah, you have kids? Or did you just say that like meaning I can kill a fly, an ant, a spider for sure, and moss, no problem. Dana, you're funny. Dana, where were you when I needed you? So none of you would have busted out the window? It could just be me. Oh, sorry for your loss, Patty. I didn't see. Patty, I'm sorry. Let's see what else we have here. Moths freak me out. Oh, yeah. Spiders give me a mental breakdown if they're huge. That's funny. In Philadelphia, believe it or not, you would think like there's so many bugs and stuff, but there's not. It's literally all concrete, so there's not a whole lot of, like, if you guys ever look at the protests, like when they're on TV, always take notes. So they'll have like the little boxes on TV. Whenever you see Philadelphia, it's all concrete. There's no greenery. There's not a tree, not a flower, nothing. It's just concrete, just cement everywhere. So I guess with that comes less bugs. So when I'm at college, Corey, if Corey's here, Corey has seen me. Abby probably has too. But I know for a fact that Corey has seen me like do a backstroke because oh my gosh, you guys, the bumblebees where I work, their eyes are like this big. I feel like I'm in A Bug's Life and we like make eye contact. I'm like, when the bugs give you like a side eye, like run. But I'll be outside by myself, like walking out for my class. I'll see Corey like in the side of my eye, but then a big bee will come by because they stay on the wood. What are they? Wood carpenter bees? They're huge, you guys. And they'll like do eye contact with me. And I'll be like, I'm one of them. And then I'll hear somebody laugh and I'm like, oh, it's me again. Doctor, my name is Sarah. I know. I thought it was a steal. I'm in the inner city and there are huntsmen. Oh, wait a minute. I just lost it. Maybe that should put it up. Huntsmen. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're definitely not as big as Sarah's hand. Sarah's hand, if she goes like this, will cover the whole screen. Sarah, I had to get you back for some of the shit you're saying right now. How did you draw that correlation? Which one? All right, let's see. I didn't let my daughter get her driver's license until she was able to kill a spider. Guess what? Oh my God, that's funny. You were serious. She put on David Bowie, Let's Dance, and it took her 11 minutes, and I took a video. Let me tell you something. There's something about that. Dana, I don't know why, like what made you do that, but the only like 2 times as a kid that I was really like scared, I just made a mess over here, was when there was a spider. Like there was a time where I like jumped out of my car. Like I'm surprised I put it in the park, but she's right. Like if you see a spider and you're not used to them in the car, that could be a recipe for disaster. I'm the entertainment. I usually am. I'm okay with that. I can't believe there's still just as many people here as before, which means that you are interested in what the crazy me too. Not crazy in a bad way, Sarah. Don't yell at me. Crazy in a good way. BK is the guy you wish would have just stayed in his mommy's basement. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'm going to show you since you're here. And I actually thought it was funny. So when all that came out, I was like talking to my husband. And I told you this in the beginning, so if you're just getting here. But I have to show you guys this. It's actually, I was like in a good mood. And When he said this, I was like, oh my God, we have to hang up right now. And I made it. So wait, ready? Let me just make sure you guys see it before I put it on. Okay, you could see it. Ready for this one? Let me know what you think. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Not hey, mom. No, I'm proper. Who says father in a text? Like a weirdo trying hard to sound complex. Found my contacts. Also formal. Nothing casual. Nothing normal. Girl I ran with. Friend named Stan. Just a contact list that shows I have no plan. Wow. So remember, kids, don't be shady. Don't get vain and act all crazy. Or you'll end up just like me, singing Mother Fada from the penitentiary. I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. What do you think of my Hello Mother? Do you guys remember that song? You have to be older to remember that song. Oh, you have a pin to your Twitter? I love that. This is great. Awesome. Oh, I love you guys. You were bitten by a brown rake. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Pain that you can't believe, and it eats you from the inside bite to the outside. Are you kidding me? That's horrifying. That actually sounds like people in Philadelphia and even in like Camden, New Jersey, trank is the big thing over here. And it's like another drug. It's just as bad as fentanyl. Only I would say it could be worse because there's no like not cure, but there's no like medicine you could take if you overdose or even medicine to get off of it type thing. Trank, they don't have that yet. So what it does do is give you a skin eating infection where it starts eating your dermis from the inside. It's something dermatitis, something I don't know. I show it in class. My brain's still in summer, but it'll come back to me soon. But anyway, it literally is skin flesh eating disease and it eats away at your muscles from the inside to the out. It's horrible. Yes, I'm talking about xylazine. I 100% am talking about xylazine. And yes, it's hello mudda, hello fada. That's so funny. I love that. Yes, but it eats you from the inside out. Yes, xylazine, that's it. Oh my gosh, so Lucy, you've even heard of it where you're at. This has been a great boob show too. I'm here for everything. You're funny. What is trank? So it's xylazine. It's a horse tranquilizer. And it literally eats away at your flesh. If I didn't know if people had the stomach to look at it, I'd pull up a picture of what it does to your skin. My secretary, Dominic the donkey, I love him. He hung. My secretary's sons, unfortunately, are the one is really bad with trank. And it literally eats at your muscle and it comes out of your so let's say your leg gets infected. And let me tell you how this happens. So you get a cut and then there's so much of this drug in our city that the flies and stuff are dying from getting high from when they land on people. Not even the ones that just bite you, but like flies and stuff are dying. So what's happening is the fly will fly over to the cut and then it gets stuck to the cut. So then the cut just keeps getting all this, so no matter how hard you try to, so people will cover it up so that flies aren't getting stuck to it and stuff, but then it doesn't heal because it needs air. It's just no matter what you do, it's just terrible. And it takes forever to heal. There are some people that I'll show you in the documentaries that 3 years have passed and it hasn't healed yet. So it's just horrible. So Thor, my secretary sent me a picture and I literally almost passed out. I had to sit down and I was like, oh my God, what is that? It literally looked like her son dunked his leg in ketchup and mustard. It was horrifying. I guess that was all the infection seeping out. You guys, if you look it up, they're Philly. Yes. Oh my God. Bad actors. So that's at K&A, Kensington and Allegheny. And during my class, Abby or Corey, they both have taken this class. But during my class, I'll put it on in the background when I do the chapter on addictions, just so that people could see in real time this happening 15 minutes from where we're sitting. except for last year I did it. I think it was in Corey's class maybe. And we're watching it and I see all of my students go, so I like look back at the screen to see what's happening. Oh my God, you guys, of course I'm showing it and somebody like dies on the camera. They didn't die, but we all thought that this person was dead. So I go over to the chat on in YouTube, and people were like, no, don't worry about that. That's just, so-and-so, she'll be up in a minute. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I have students that are like going to school for medical things. And they're like, Dr. Vona, her toes are blue. Like there's no way. Sure enough, you guys, the class gets out. Everyone winds up leaving except for me and like 4 other students that were like, what is happening? We need to see. We stay for an extra like 30 minutes or so. She gets up. So we're all like, thank God. We're all like, let's shut the computer off. We could go home now. I go to shut the computer off. She goes up to somebody and asks them to put the needle in her neck again and goes right back down. I was like, forget it. I'm going home. I can't. It is horrifying. It really is. Let's see what I miss here. Please pick me up at the airport. Don't let me die in Philly. You're not going to die in Philly. I've been living in Philly my whole life. But I don't know about picking you up at the airport. That's a pain in the ass. I mean, I would if you needed me to. But you're not going to die in Philly, and I'll definitely see you while you're here. I wonder if crocodile is still a thing. It was a flesh-eating, that mimicked heroin. There are some cases in the United States, but it's big in Russia. It's a definite death sentence. That's so sad, isn't it? And it like literally takes over. It's so horrible. I watched a documentary of it. Speaking of documentaries, Truth sent me this documentary yesterday. And I was like hooked. And halfway through, I looked at my daughter, Ava, and I was like, if this little girl dies at the end of this, I'm going to go find Truth. I don't know exactly where she lives, but I will find her and kill her for making me watch this. The little girl doesn't die at the end. I was like, Truth, you're so lucky. I was like so invested. The little girl was like telling people that her dad was doing stuff to her. And they were all kind of like, oh, well. I was like, what? And then finally somebody like believes her and stuff. It's scary. I was afraid dealers. Oh yeah, we're going to start switching it out well, that's what they do with fentanyl. And that's why there's fentanyl here. In Philadelphia, I will say this. It depends on where you're at too, Sarah. So when you come to Philadelphia, don't be afraid of all of Philadelphia. There are spots that you definitely shouldn't go to. So True says they used to cut H with Xanax and benzos. Then the pills got really hard to get, so they substitute it with Trank. So here in Philadelphia, they skipped the Xanax because they're like $3 or $4 a piece, and they went right to Trank and fentanyl. And Sarah, depending on where you are in the city, I will tell you this: be careful of touching things. So down by Kensington and Allegheny, it is so bad as far as the amount of Trank and stuff, and it's so easy with fentanyl and all for it to take effect on you, even if you didn't do it, that every single day in Philadelphia, the city pays to have all of the slides and like the swing sets and all of that to get power washed every single day. Imagine that. I was like, what? And it's literally because people were going to bring their kids to the park to play and people were like dying. Let's see. That's why I told you it was similar to the Stearns case. That's why I thought, Truth, that's why I thought that something was going to happen at the end. You're not going to die at the airport, Sarah. I won't let that happen. You're not going to die at the airport. The airport isn't bad. The airport's good. It's just on your way from the airport to where you're going is a little concerning. But we'll talk about it. I'll help you out. I'll let you know where not to stop. There's like a little section. Just skip over it if you can. But I'll show you how to skip over it. You're not going to die at the airport. I can't let that happen to you, Sarah. You're one of like my biggest supporters here. Look, with all the comments and the super chats you get, please, you're much too valuable for me to let you die at the airport. However, I'm not following you into like Kensington and Allegheny if you go there. Yes, I would. I would come pick you up. As a matter of fact, I sometimes have to drive home that way. And last year, I was at the stop sign and Quan, though I didn't know at the time, backed into me. And I was like, oh shit, now what do I do? So I got out of my car and I made friends with Quan, but Quan didn't have. And Quan, if you're watching, give me a call. It's been a minute. But Quan didn't have insurance, and he better have insurance now because I will kill him if he doesn't. But he was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because he was going to pick up his daughter. And I'm like, okay, you're going to get insurance is what you're going to do. But me and Quan made like a side deal. And I never did anything. I let him get away with, not that I let him get away with it, but like I let him like pay me on the side, and I went and got my car fixed. I just said I didn't know he hit me. But anyway, me and Quan are still friends. Yes, I made friends with Quan. I definitely did. And it's funny because I went to class the next day and I got into an argument with my husband. It wasn't like a real argument, but it was a little bit because he was like, oh, you met this person and you just think that because he says he's going to send you $500 tomorrow that he will. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I do. And sure enough, the next day, I was in class and I heard the Cash App thing. And I looked down and I was like, told you. And Quan paid me. And me and Quan are friends to this day. See, yes, I am a gypsy. Call me what you want. Quan didn't get arrested and he still has custody of his daughter. And he has car insurance now because I told him, I'm like, Quan, if you think you're going to hit 2 people in Philadelphia like me, you're out of your mind. I was like, take this as like your hint from God that you need to make a change and get some insurance. You know what I mean? And I believe he did, but we're still close to this day. I love Quan. There are still decent people in the world. I'd like to think I'm one of them. But then I I hit this girl a little bit a couple weeks ago. And you guys, there was nothing on her car. Nothing. There was like a little scrape. But I got my shirt and I did one of those. And, and it came off. Yeah, I did. I licked it. It wasn't coming off without the lick. So I did the lick and it came off. So I was like, there's not even a scrape. Like, da-da-da. She's like, well, I called my boyfriend. He's on his way. So I'm like, all right, I'll call my husband. He's on his way. So they come. And I swear her boyfriend looked at her like, where is it? And I was like, exactly. There's nothing there. So I took pictures. A couple of weeks has passed and touch wood, but she hasn't caught anything on me. I was like, whoops. But I was like, there you go. It's like karma, right? I let Quan off and I was like, please don't get me for this stupid one. I was a first responder. So was I during COVID. And it sucked. Everybody had off but me and my husband. We were like the only 2 people in the world still going to work. Not in the world, but it felt like it around here. To a man who fell on his head in the parking lot 2 weeks ago. Oh my God. Good. You're a good person. That's good. I would have helped him too. I would have helped. I try to help everybody when I can. All right, you guys, it is 10:25 and I am literally stalling. And I definitely have class tomorrow. You jumped out of the car. That was really nice of you, Sarah. I have to be honest with you. A lot of people around here, we tend to not, we didn't say it type thing. So it wouldn't be out of the realm for you to just be like, I didn't see that and keep going. So the fact that you stopped was amazing. Everyone needs to have insurance. 100%. I agree with that. If it's just a tiny bumper tap, I'd much rather, yes, thank you. The thing was with Quan Harlot, it was more like $2,000 worth of damage, but that's also because I couldn't, I had to get a certain one for my car and shit. So it was more of that. Good night, Fancy Nancy. Good night, Charmin. Thank you guys so much for coming. Bye, Truth. I appreciate all of you. Muscles and all, I appreciate you, Sarah. You're the best. And Sarah, I'm not going to let you die in Philadelphia. Don't worry. Like I said, just don't go to the few places that I'll tell you about. If you stay away from them, you'll be fine. All right. And with your 6.5 again, Sarah, you're funny. You guys, her fingers are long. My fingers are really short. I don't get it. Anyway. I'm just kidding. I do get it. I love you all. Thanks, Dr. Vona. Have a good night. Have a good night, Harlot. Thank you for all of you that were here. Thank you for all of you that gave me super chats, super stickers, and bought memberships. You have no idea how much that means to me. The fact that I found out tonight that I got out of YouTube jail is huge. So thank you guys for helping me, on my journey. I wasn't leaving those, just so you guys know. I don't know if anybody saw my post earlier before tonight, before knowing this happened. I wrote in the post that I decided, after I cried for a minute, because I did cry, let's be honest, that I decided that I was not going to let YouTube jail stop me. It ain't happening. I don't let other things stop me. What the hell would I let YouTube jail stop me for? I'm not really here for the $20 in AdSense. I'm here for the people that show up for me.
And that's how that goes. All right, you guys, I really need to go because I am literally stalling on doing my homework, and I need to do my homework. So thank you for congratulating me on getting my monetization back. I don't know how it happened. I'm still afraid that tomorrow I'm going to wake up and it's going to be gone again. So let's pray that that doesn't happen. And yeah, thank you guys. Nina got a strike recently too. They're so ridiculous. I hadn't had a chance to comment yet, but I felt so bad. I'm so glad you got it back. I think I did. I mean, tonight it seems like I did. All right, you guys, I'll see you all. Thank you so much for showing up for me. And until next time, when I don't know exactly when that'll be, but it seems like you guys pretty much jumped on. So I appreciate that so much. So thank you all. My boobs look great. That's great. Thank you, Sarah. You too, PTSD. You're so funny. Thank you, Mark. I'll see you all next time. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, please. Have a great night. Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this so that I can continue to bring you content. Thank you so much.